even started.
I know.
What are people upset about?
Emotions are running high.
I'm driving down the road. I great vibes, right? It's the Monday of game week. The sun's out. I watered the lawn this morning, feeling fresh. And your lady tries to. I'm driving east on Dodge on the expressway, and the lady's trying to get in, off the, from 132nd Street or whatever, and she's trying to merge. She's trying to merge into traffic. And she merges. She goes right in front of me, and so I have to slow down, but I'm right on her. And then I go to pass her later, and she's just looking right at me. And I go, how is this my problem? Why is this a me? But you know what? We just buzzed through it, and we got to work, and here we are. It's game week.
So does it appear to me? Well, it appears to me, maybe you now with this story, that there are more angry drivers on the roads these days.
Yeah, I will admit that I am an angry driver. I was not the angry person in this case. I'm out of in my driving confrontations, which there are not that many of them. I'm the more likely person to flip somebody off. So this is why it was so surprising to me this morning. It's like usually I would be the one that was, been like, hey man, what the heck's going on here? What are you doing? I wasn't even doing anything wrong. In no way it could have been misconstrued that I was doing something wrong. The person merged right in front of me and they had the gall to flip me off.
Do people,
happy game week.
Hey, is this a lost art or a lost gesture? Like when you let somebody in, there's all, it's, you would think
give them the hat tip
or
the
just
wave.
A wave.
Give them the wave.
I don't ever get that anymore. I still do it because that's how I was taught. But like when someone lets you in on a merger zip and all that kind of stuff,
absolutely,
you give a little wave.
Yep.
People are not doing that these days.
I go above and beyond on the thank you wave. I very clearly terrible radio, but
your arm is extended.
I duck my head. It's waving wildly.
You're making sure they see.
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Well, now that we're talking about driving, did I miss the memo in the calendar? There was always, when you're in Lincoln or on the interstate, when football season starts because all of the construction, road construction in Lincoln is wrapped up and all the stuff on the interstate is wrapped up.
Free and clear.
I would think, though, here in Omaha, we just went through the summertime where kids are at home and there's not buses, there's not as many cars on the road. That'd be a good time to do all of the road construction. Did we just decide, in the last 2 weeks, that this is the prime time to start road construction everywhere?
It's time to start finally. Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
All right, the mayor's out of town. Let's go. Let's start up the construction.
They probably just, they roll, I think on Maple, they've been on there forever. They just go to one spot, they go to the next spot, they go to the next spot. So then they're constantly working on Maple for years, but you can't tell the difference. It's a bad deal. But yeah, we've started clearing out a little bit. I think I did make the drive to Lincoln yesterday and it was free and easy. So that was good. That's a sure sign as anything that we're getting back.
But then you get on campus and of course it is, there's construction everywhere on that campus.
Yeah. I try to avoid that as much as I possibly can. I saw you taking pictures of sorority houses, weirdo.
Well, they weren't doing TikToks.
Yeah. So you had to make one yourself?
So girlfriend's son is a freshman beginning his first day of school. Has not gotten in contact with mom since drop-off day.
Oh, having a good time.
Well, I'm wondering. And so.
This is what, a week or two now?
Now it was Thursday. So we moved Chuck down on Thursday. So he moved into Phi-Sci. And
okay.
He hasn't responded to his mom or his dad.
So you went down to take a look? Take a peek?
No, trying to be. I just said to him, you know what? I'm in Lincoln often during the sports season. If you ever need anything, you need somebody to take you to lunch,
bison witches,
or you need me to come hang out in the fraternity and play Madden. Which
you offered that?
Yeah, to one of the older guys in the house, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." He goes, "Are you a legacy?" And I'm like, "No." I go, to be honest, my lone year in the dorms was across the street at Nyhard.
That's right.
And I used to throw snowballs at your place.
Absolutely.
Now it's come full circle that I'm moving somebody into the second floor of this
You
place.
finally got into the frat house.
But of course, where they're at, there are a couple of very popular sororities that are across the street.
My wife was in one of them across there. Yes.
So I'm not a fraternity or sorority guy. Of course, being the latter. So I don't know how this all works. I mean, I went through the whole summer of hearing
it's
Chuck
weird, man.
getting a bid and going to these different parties and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought you had to go through Rush in a fraternity, but he already knew what house he was going into.
Yeah, I know less about the fraternity side than I do about the sorority side.
So I was asking because Thursday in Lincoln was like the major Rush day. There were, thousands of co-eds that were dressed up really nice.
Yeah.
It's like 95 degrees. And I'm like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
And, they go to each house and they stand outside the house. And the girls that are already in the sorority, like, have tents set up in the front yard and they're passed out because they're in the heat all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get the whole thing. And so I started to ask some questions. And they're not during Rush. They're not allowed to talk to boys.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Because I was trying to be Mr. Cool in this frat house. And I'm like, hey,
I forgot about that.
Why
That
don't
is
you guys
true.
go across the street? I mean, you could start early. These freshmen that are in the house.
Yes.
And they're like, nope, they can't talk to us.
Yep.
I'm like, really?
Uh-huh.
But I wanted them to do TikToks. I was hoping I'd get to see a TikTok being made. And I was disappointed.
There's plenty out there if I'm sure you've seen
I'm starting to
them.
see more Nebraska ones.
Yeah. They're really good at dancing. I mean, how do they must have some people from the dance team in their sorority house.
Oh, they got somebody that's a good choreographer.
Yeah, there's some real choreographed stuff in there.
So your wife went to a sorority and you already knew your wife before you guys went to college.
That is true.
Then was there pressure for you to join a fraternity?
No, not at all.
Were you worried?
No, not at all. My friends I had a group of friends that were in one frat, and I was just like, I like you guys, but I don't need to be in the frat. So I kept that separate a little bit, which was probably the best. But then I still got, they were still my friends. So then I was like sort of an honorary member of the frat too. But yeah, the sorority fraternity thing is weird. It's weird. I think looking back, most people are like, wow, I really enjoyed that. But could I have had that experience even if I didn't join? Maybe. But I don't know. That's speaking from a guy who wasn't in one.
I had good friends that were in Sigma Nu.
Sigma Nu, that was the one.
And I did realize you just can't go over to their house and hang out.
Like
you just can't walk in.
No. Yeah, you got to know somebody.
Like you can't go and hang out in their room.
Yeah, it's not like dorms.
Yeah.
It's, hey, that's the one that, it got like condemned.
Yeah.
Bad deal.
They had a nice house when I was in school.
Uh-huh. That was right. That was all happening right when, my buddies were in there.
Well, I told Chuck, we were driving down one of the streets and I said, hey, see, he goes, that's weird. There's a key plot of land is just grass. And I said, yeah, because there used to be a fraternity there.
Yep. That's old Sigma Nu.
And it got torn down.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, really? What'd they do? And I'm like, things that you shouldn't do.
Well, there were some fire code violations.
And a death.
They
have a death due to alcohol?
Not at that one, I don't think. Or I don't know if that went into the reasoning of why that's not there anymore. But basically they went in there and were like, this is like unlivable, this is a bad deal. And trust me, I know from being in there, it is not livable. Yeah, that's basically what happened on that one. This is just not a good situation. And then the university was like, oh, this isn't a good situation. Let's not have this anymore then.
Your charter done.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed some things in that regard. But yes, it's a very interesting time for prospective fraternity or sorority members.
So not everybody, like from the sorority side, gets a bid, right?
That's right. You can get left off the table. Now there, from how I understand it, there's basically like you are encouraged to take you get some options and you're sort of encouraged to take one that, either, they say it to you like how it fits you and stuff like that. But like, basically you have your choices and then they have your choices of you. And then if one doesn't really match up, then you're probably going to be left off the table. And then there's like a risk it all situation that gets thrown in there too. But if you're
a great way to start your college career.
Oh, it's high stakes, man. And if you're a legacy, then you're pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
You can just do whatever you want. Go whichever one you want to.
So I'm getting to understand that whole world.
Yeah. Scary.
It kind of is.
It's scary.
Yeah. Because I also didn't realize that you could. I thought as a freshman you had to live in the dorms. You couldn't live in the house.
Yeah.
And then this guy was telling me, no, that's not true. We have like 12 true freshmen that are living in the house.
I don't know how that works.
But then we have like 6 freshmen that are still living in the dorms, but they're part of our fraternity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Chuck, you upgraded. You were supposed to be in Smith.
I don't know.
Your location is better.
The location is better for sure. Is the living situation better? That's what you never know. That's what you don't know. Maybe you're bunking with like 3 other people. I don't know. They have all these different kinds of rooms and stuff like that.
Well,
all the different kinds of situations.
So nowadays, like, when we were all there, housing was pretty much all the same.
The dorms are so nice now.
Oh, it's basically, you couldn't wait to get out of the dorms when I was in college. Hey, I can't wait to get in my first apartment.
Yeah.
Now
they put you right in there.
Yeah, your dorm or your suite is nicer than an apartment, and they've got more luxury. Like, downstairs is a convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
Or there is one suite in Lincoln where they do your laundry. You get free laundry.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's huge.
We were on the tour.
Isn't that like a part of going to college though? Like you have to learn how to do your laundry?
But for some,
or you have to drive to back to Omaha every weekend.
But for some kids, you do not want them doing their own laundry yet.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm aware.
They don't understand the ratio. They don't understand everything shouldn't be put together.
Yep.
Yeah. But when we were on the tour last year, the tour guide was like, yeah, this dorm, if you're in this dorm, laundry is included. And all I heard is kids go, huh? What?
Yeah. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, there's so many suite style, like, all the housing now. It's all the new stuff that they've put up. It's all that. Yep. So you have 2 or 3 people in a room, but you each have your own room inside of the room.
Yes,
and there's a kitchen and a common living area and stuff like that.
You know how we all somewhat remember like our first day in school, your first day in junior high or middle school, first day in high school? You remember anything about your first day in college?
First day in college? No, I remember like the new student orientation at Nebraska. I don't really remember I had a lot of first days of college, and at a couple different places. So you sort of figure it out, but not exactly. No.
See, I was a mid-semester transfer to Lincoln, so I started in January.
Yeah.
When you're way behind, everybody knows each other, and you're living with somebody that's 36 years old.
That's a problem.
Yes, and doesn't leave his room, and talks about going and hopping on the trains right by Harper Schramm Smith. Like, isn't that dangerous? And he goes,
they put you with a non-traditional student?
Well, I may have not told the story to you, but the only reason I picked Nyhart is because I thought it was cool that they had a sink in the room.
Oh, no, you did. You've
not knowing that that's what, Nyhart is non-traditional, and my roommate was going to be 36 years old and be in a 12-year relationship, long distance.
Yeah, that's a problem. Just not exactly what you think of when you think of the college experience.
And me wondering, why is a guy that's, half my age, older, why is he still living in the dorms? And why does he want to convince me to go hop on trains? And I say, isn't that dangerous? And he goes, only if you fall. Oh, welcome to Lincoln.
I remember the old guys. There would be one old guy that everybody sort of knew in the area that we were in, whether it was in the dorms, and he always wore, for some reason, a Syracuse shirt. So we called him Syracuse guy. And I didn't know the guy's name, but he just walked around and he was Syracuse guy. And he ended up having a couple classes with them or something like that. Never once talked to him. I was just like, hey, it's Syracuse guy. So that's basically, if you're a non-traditional student and you're living on campus, if you're 40 years old and you're living on campus, that's basically what you have in store for you. You have to be prepared to live with people looking at you a lot.
Do you have more friends from high school or college that you still stay in touch with?
High school, I think. Yeah. High school.
So you stayed around this area.
But I did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And in college, it's mostly people who ended up
in your major.
Yeah. Like in the field. Yeah. In the biz.
Yeah. My roommate, and I think his name was Justin. We do not stay in contact. Actually, we didn't talk to each other the last 2 months of my only semester in the dorms.
Yeah, that's tricky. Either it works out really well or it works out really poorly.
He wasn't, like
with a random roommate.
Hygiene, he was fine, but I would hear his conversations with his girlfriend, and they were off the wall. And it actually worked out well because it forced me to go to somebody else's dorm.
Yeah, no, you
to
gotta
meet people.
You gotta take that outside. You're gonna talk on the phone for a long time. You gotta, go to the common space.
It also
Go to the green space.
It also that and living with 7 other dudes that we all turned 21 at the same time reminded me that I never want a roommate again unless we are, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend.
But it was really good to have the experience of like living with a billion other people in one very small house where you paid $100 a month for rent.
That was rough.
Looking back on it, it was rough. I really enjoyed it at the time. I was like, this is how it's supposed to be. This is kind of fun. And looking back, I was like, how did that ever happen? How did I ever do that?
I wouldn't trade that year. But now the older part of me goes, my gosh, what was I doing? How come
Exactly.
I didn't die?
Yeah, that I ask myself that question every day. Wow, look at all these things. How am I okay? How are we all okay right now? But we are.
One final thing about the final day, the first day of college. I did give Chuck a heads up. Now, parking, since you and I have been in school, has gone through the roof. Like, you get a parking spot in a garage at least, but it costs a little bit. And he goes, well, what if I don't want to park that far away? And I'm like, well, then you're going to have to play the parking war game.
Yep. You get a warning, a warning a year, I believe.
Yes.
After that, it's I believe they're $40 a ticket now on campus, and they have no mercy. No mercy whatsoever. And if you have a pass and it is 1 day expired, sorry. If you're in the wrong lot, sorry. If your meter's expired, sorry. You're gone. And there's not that much great parking certainly on campus.
Not anymore because of all the development.
Yeah.
It used to be you could play the game, where you would go and park in a parking lot and you would sit there and wait in a row. And then when somebody would walk in down that row,
yep.
I made the mistake not knowing how that game is played the first time I went searching for a parking spot. I didn't realize that if you were the first there, I thought it was just, I'm just driving along. Hey, that person's backing out.
Mm-mm.
They back out. I pull in.
No.
Yeah, they didn't go
There's
so well.
a line. There's a line.
No.
You gotta wait in the line. Parking is notoriously very strict on the campus of the University
Have you
of Nebraska.
have you been on UNO's campus here down the street where they play the parking game of I don't have a parking permit, but I'm going to park in Elmwood Park or I'm going to park along the road?
That's pretty much what I used to do. Yeah. Because I went there for a semester, I think. But yeah, that's like, because and especially 10 years ago or whatever, it was more of a commuter deal than it is now. So you just find you got to find wherever is close. There's that little side street off of Dodge there on the south side.
Where a lot of people park.
It is lined up. I don't know how early in the morning they get there, but when I'm driving through it after 9 o'clock, like it's all the way gone, bumper to bumper.
And I'm surprised that the university hasn't found a way to put meters.
Just build can we just build a mega garage for all these college campuses? Then, like, what are we doing?
They built that one that has like 24 spots at the opening of Exarban.
Oh, the one in Exarban
with the lights.
Oh yeah,
with the fun lights on the side of the building.
I parked that garage in Exarban behind behind all those restaurants, behind like Herb Saint.
Yeah,
that garage.
That one, yeah.
That garage it's free. Never has anybody in it, and yet people are out on the street fighting each other about on-street parking. Why would you? Why just parking? I got nobody next to me.
It's a garage.
What's wrong with the garage is worse than on street now?
The homeless bathe in there.
There does not appear to be central air conditioning when you walk in the stairs of the elevator shaft, but
no.
If you can hold your breath for 30 seconds, you'll make it just fine.
I always wonder because like during the day that garage is packed because of people that are working in HR, but I'm with you. People want to park on the street instead, and there are convenient parking garages around, and they're
everywhere.
all free.
They're all free. And there's
the challenge though of on-street parking.
There's a couple
parallel parking.
Oh, so people want the challenge? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 2 or 3 spots that are designated for like to go only, and the amount of times that you see people zip right in there and then go damn it, and then just go right back out is hilarious.
Are you good at the exclusively back in parking? They got a few of those.
You know what?
In the
Okay,
exhibit
so
area?
I like
so
that.
this
move.
has started to become a thing. What's the street downtown?
Yeah, it's like south of Farnham
Yeah.
still.
You have to back into the
Yes.
spot.
Yeah, by that police station. Yeah.
Okay, come on. People can't parallel park. How are we going to expect them to back into a spot?
Oh, come on.
But I was somewhere.
We're at a park.
I was some of the other. There's a street in Lincoln that now does that as well, where you have to back into your spot.
Oh, parallel parking. That is a fun game to watch.
That's why now they make cars that parallel park on their own.
That's ridiculous, by the way. Come on. Like, it's easy enough already with the backup cam. We can't learn how to parallel
park. I take
park.
great pride in that. I was a very good parallel parker.
Same. It's one of the best things it's one of the most fun things I do. I once sat there on a patio having a beer one night, and we were all sitting there, and this person's like, you come up, there's an open spot, and we're like, oh, time to watch. And maybe like 7 to 10 times back and forth, just trying to find the right spot in there, to the point where one of the people in our group got up and said, do you want some help? And guess what? They said, yes, park my car for me. And she did.
Not even a, hey, I will guide you. I will be an extra set of eyes. It was, I will park this car for you.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was a huge power move. Huge power move.
Nicely done.
That was that's shout out to good friend Nicole Griffith, who's now in Texas covering the Aggies. Yeah, she was like, I'm doing this. She's like, I'm parking this car for this person. That person did not care.
Well, enjoy back to school for all our college kids and the Little League World Series.
Yep. We love
I think
the
they're
Little League
playing
World
in
Series.
the little stadium today.
There's like 6 games today. There's a lot of games today. It's moving day in Williamsport.
Did you enjoy George Bush and Rob Manfred together?
George Bush was somewhere this weekend?
So George,
he was at Sunday Night Baseball.
But ESPN had him and Manfred on at the same time. They were trying to reach that younger demo. But so
I watched the kids cast.
So Carl Ravitch asked Rob Manfred, are you going to do this again next year? And they are. They announced it after he was off the air. But Manfred says to Carl Ravitch, and the former president was just he was unhinged. He was just saying whatever last night. Manfred said, yeah, you know what, Carl, the last time I came on with you and I said something, I got a lot of heat. And the president goes, oh, you mean when you moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta?
Oh, he did?
On air.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there was just complete silence. Even Carl Ravitch was like, okay.
Well, I bet old G-Dub has some baseball takes. I mean, he's a baseball guy.
He does.
So to have a couple minutes with the commish there, he's going to let one fly.
He was pretty animated.
Yeah.
And he just, whatever came to the front of the lobe, he just let rip.
And then a 14-year-old interviewed him on the kids cast.
Love it.
Afterwards.
Great. Excellent TV, I'm sure.
All right. Did he go, I am Marcell Ozuna from the Braves?
No. I don't think he was booed as raucously as Marcell was this weekend.
Oh.
How about the radio announcer? That's how he introduced him batting yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't hear this.
Oh yeah.
I just heard the boos watching on TV. It was like, oh,
it's
okay.
no mercy on Marcell.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Brian Snitker after the game said, as of right now, he's still on the roster, and we've got to play him because Rosario and Acuna.
Yeah.
Marcell seemed a little bit confused when he turned down his sobriety test, and then they put him in cuffs. It's like, yes, this is how it works, Marcell.
I'm a Hall of Fame Braves guy.
Hall of Fame baseball guy.
I am Marcell Ozuna from the Braves. Have a good show, guys.
All right, that's Gary Sharp. That's the crossover. We will start things off with Mike Schaeffer of Husker 24/7 next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And this is, again, conditional, but if Nebraska's on a roll, then all of a sudden this game moves way up. Purdue, I think, is a legitimate division contender, even though not a lot of people are picking them. But the history, too. Jeff Brom has kind of had Scott Frost's number. I get it. There's still this mental block about it. Oh, it's only Purdue. Well, it's not only Purdue. Purdue has been really good against Nebraska.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
This season, the Omaha Storm Chasers have partnered with PayPal to present the Chasers Community Celebration Series. On Thursday, August 25th, we continue the series with Cancer Awareness Night. Join us at Warner Park to bring awareness to finding a cure and standing with those who are battling or have survived cancer. To learn more about the Chaser Community Series or to purchase tickets, visit OmahaStormChasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Businesses all across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa have trusted Host Coffee for their coffee, water, and vending needs. Give your business the whole host of options. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Football is all the way back, and we're kicking off week 1 with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Happer to get in on the action. Then you can turn game day into payday all season long. And maybe you like the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Maybe you like them just to make the playoffs. Maybe you don't like them to make the playoffs at all. You can bet on it all at FanDuel Sportsbook. So you can play your way and bet on more than just the final score. Wager on everything from touchdowns to total yards to catches and anything in between. You can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the famous same game parlay. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code Happer. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, welcome back and welcome in. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We get a tweet from our good friend Stu Manji on the J-Tech Instructions on Twitter feed. Quoting me, parallel parking is one of the most fun things I do. We probably need to get this man some hobbies, folks. Well, I would argue the same. But as Mike Schaeffer maybe can attest to, when you nail a parallel park, that feeling is sort of unmatched. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a generally great sense of accomplishment. Now, the reverse is also true. If you screw up a parallel park, you feel like you should have your driver's license taken from you and quite possibly kicked directly in the ass.
Yeah.
So, it's a feeling of high sensation when done correctly, but when you don't handle it, you feel like it's big idiot. Also, if people see you struggle to parallel park, you feel more judged by that than almost anything else.
That's right. Or when people are standing there watching and you do it in one shot, you get out of your car and you raise your hands up. You're like, what? You going to say something to me?
I feel like the crowd seems less enthused by good parallel parking.
That's true.
More bloodthirsty for the bad parallel.
That's true. I will admit, if I've ever watched somebody try to do it, I will stand there and wait for them to screw it up and be pretty disappointed when and if they nail it. But I don't see many people nail it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. People want the worst in society, especially with parallel parking.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt about it. All right. So are you in your meditative state yet for game week?
I'm working on it. I just had a good podcast with BC. I continue to have this weird dual push-pull where I feel very good about what I'm hearing, both from the media appearances and other conversations about specific parts of this team. Mm-hmm. I continue to think that they're going to be different in a variety of ways than what we've seen from Scott Frost's first 4 attempts with Nebraska football since 2018. And that sort of buoys the spirit a little bit, and we'll start with this. I really believe, Happer, that this is going to be the Nebraska defense that takes the ball away a lot more than what we've seen in past years. Like, they've been very bend, don't break for the last 3 seasons. I don't know what they were in 2018, and I don't know that it really matters what they were attempting to do in 2018. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years has been very much we're going to make you have to drive the whole field, keep it in front of us, that kind of thing. This year, it feels like they have the ability to dictate and be more aggressive on defense. Now, whether they choose to do that or not, we're going to see on Saturday, starting Saturday. But I think they have the pieces to be more disruptive, and that in itself has me more excited for Nebraska football in 2022.
I totally agree. That's one area where my confidence has only grown in the last, however many months you want to call it. I mean, I know from talking to you about it right when the season ended, we were pretty concerned about where the defense was headed, especially that secondary. Right. They've improved and replenished. Here's another one, Schaeffer, that maybe has gone, as much under the radar as it possibly could have this camp. I mean, and there's a variety of different reasons I think this, but I have a pretty high amount of confidence in their operation on special teams. Like, I think that's going to be pretty good for them. Could end up even being an advantage, which would obviously be huge. That formula, if you put a good defense along with good special teams and you just don't screw it up on offense, is that the formula for you?
Yeah, I think even just being league average, which the Big Ten, unsurprisingly is a terrific special teams conference. It's one of those things that it just does incredibly well. But I do think the formula, if they can just get the average in special teams, sort of allows for them to kind of have their talent shine, whether it's on offense or defense. So I think if they can sort of just be fine there and you are competent with field goals around 40 to 45 yards and you're competent with your coverage units and you can actually maybe flip the field when you need to with your punting game. And I think all of these are very reasonable. Like, none of these you're going to go be the best special teams team in the conference. They're all reasonable and, attainable. I think it would help them, in a big, big way. I mean, you just go back over the last 3 years, you'd probably flip 5 to 6 games. Yeah. Sounds insane with just average special teams play. So I agree with you. Special teams and defense, where I was in December, when the season's over and they're going through all this series of change. And I had a lot of concern about what was coming back on defense because it felt like and a lot of good pieces and competent pieces. And same with special teams. They've replaced a lot of them with some transfers and some guys internally that I think they're not going to miss a beat on either side of this. I mean, they're going to be better, I think, in both spots than they were last year. They'll certainly be better on special teams, and I think they'll be better on defense too.
Mike Schaeffer, Husker 24/7 is with us. After a full camp of listening in on Casey Thompson's thoughts and him finishing it off yesterday as they depart for Ireland today, what is your confidence level in him his confidence level, and I think this is just who he is in himself and what they're doing in their operation here, seems to be relatively high. I feel like that's a good portion of the battle right there. I guess, how do you feel about Casey Thompson now compared to how you might have at the beginning of camp?
He's just every bit of the veteran quarterback that I thought Nebraska needed to go get. I mean, there hasn't been any part of him where I've been like, oh, well, I kind of, I haven't been wanting, if that makes sense. Like, I still got to go see him do it on the field from the physical side of it. But from everything else, the media appearances, from the practices, from what people have said about him, I mean, I just think that he exudes a level of calmness that this offense could use. I think he's kind of the same guy, just from what I've talked to, people that covered him in Texas.
Schaeffer.
It was this like sort of under the water duck that was struggling or anything, but it just there's a little calmness he provides that's good for this offense. It's still going to take a lot of time to figure out who they are.
Yeah, no, I think so too. With that being said, I'll ask you a question that will factor right into that. How do you think the running back thing plays out on Saturday? Is there a pecking order on how you're predicting it to go? Who gets the most carries? Who gets the next most? How many guys they actually use? How do you think, or do you think it's just going to be straight up hot hand? We'll give Grant the first crack and then sort of go from there. How do you think that'll play out with a game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Anthony Grant, and then Gabe Irvin, AJ Allen. I don't know about Yant. A former player told me this weekend, and when I saw him, and he said he was at practice, not for a scrimmage, but for a practice very recently, he thought Yant looked the best among the running backs that he had watched. And he's very impressed by just sort of where his body is at and what he looks like. So it really feels like they have a full compartment of options. And what that might mean is that you get a lot of bouncing around. I mean, if someone kind of establishes themselves against Northwestern, maybe that takes care of the deal itself. But I kind of suspect you're going to get, planned series where it's going to be Anthony Grant here, and then it's going to be Gabe Irvin, and then, maybe in the second half you kind of go to one guy. But I think early on, a lot of guys are going to get their opportunity to at least show what they can do.
Yeah. Well, Schaeff, have you thought about, I mean, we've had enough time, I think, to sit on this one. Do you have an idea of who you're going to be picking, or is it too early in the week for that?
For this upcoming game, I have Nebraska winning. I think it's going to be inside the margin that has been determined by sports books across the country. I like Northwestern to at least keep it relatively close, but I think Nebraska wins. I think that there's some good in this being a little bit of a tension-filled
agreed
second half. Got to be able to win in those types of situations. But I think they're the better team. I think they're the more talented team. I do believe in a lot of aspects of it. I just need to see what that offensive line looks like, and really, can they just go and do it? I mean, you and I last year at this time, we were pretty confident they were going to go to Champaign. I thought it was going to be a one-score game, and I thought Nebraska would come out on top. I think you thought it would be a little bit more than a one-score game.
Yeah,
I
thought they'd kill them.
Yeah, they played tight. I don't think this year's team, from the sound of things, they sound fairly loose for how big the situation is. And I appreciate that. I don't think they're going to play that tight on Saturday. It might not be pretty. It might not be the sort of game that you want to take a picture of and hang up on the wall or anything and display it here over the next 3 months. But I think they're going to go to Dublin, and I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to show in crunch time that they can put a team away and do the right thing.
Yeah,
that's what I think we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that would be really ideal, man. Like, I mean, that's sort of the next question. Like, there's a lot of different ways it can go. Obviously, you're going to take it if it's a non-controversial win, if Nebraska ends up winning by 2-3 scores or whatever it might be. And then obviously it's the sky is falling quite a bit if they lose. But there is a real good advantage to them seeing some adversity. I think it's been a long off season. They've tried to keep the pressure off them as much as possible. But you don't know, and Frost mentioned this yesterday, you don't know exactly how it's going to go from an adversity standpoint until it finally hits you. And to face that and overcome it would be a huge, huge win right out of the gate if it goes that way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we're on the same page here, and If Nebraska is able to handle these things, if they're able to show that they can do that early on, it's only going to give them confidence moving forward. And so I think that is a good thing. Here's what I want from you and really most of the media and the fan base. Can we all just sort of agree, regardless of what it looks like, if Nebraska comes back with a win, that is the single and only thing that truly matters in week 0?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a 16-13 and there's a bunch of turnovers and it's ugly and the offensive line looks like they couldn't block a high school team in Class D2, if they win, that has to be the only headline for the week. Like, I really can't stress this enough. Like, we can't, on one hand, act like the most important thing is that they go at least 6-6, and then not at the minimum acknowledge that they win week 0 because they couldn't do it last year. So I feel like that's where I'm at with it. Like, just go over there and win. We can separate the rest of it over the rest of the season.
I agree, but that doesn't mean, like, if it looks really bad, there's still going to be concerns afterwards, even if they win, right? I mean, but yeah, you could separate it, and a win will definitely be a win in this case.
Yeah, I'm not saying that no one should be critical or no one could be disappointed. I'm just saying if they achieve the result of a victory, that in itself is the most valuable thing of the entire experience.
I would agree. I can get on board with that, Schaefer.
All right, good. I got you in on my pledge.
Yep.
Just 7 million more people to go.
Yep. Good luck on collecting the signatures throughout the rest of the week with everybody traveling overseas.
I'll work on it. I'll let you know where I'm at. I think I can get up to 15 by the end of the day.
All right, Schaefer. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 24/7. We signing off? You signing off, Josh, or are you going to say no?
I agree in principle. However, I reserve the right to see the game first.
Yeah. I mean, look, we compare it to the situation where it's, hey, look, if this would be a positive result, right? If Nebraska finished the season 7-5, but if they lose their last 3, you're like, well, I mean, they were 7-2. You don't want to finish. So, right. It's about how it feels afterwards.
I'm very much on board with just win, baby.
I can get on board with this idea.
However-
I can get on board with this idea given this. If Nebraska gets past this, which is the largest speed bump in their path to getting to 3-0, I really, really, really obviously like their chances to be 3-0. So you could sort of work on things over the next couple weeks, not to take the next 2 opponents completely lightly because you're still somewhat vulnerable, I suppose, but you're less vulnerable. There's a lot more going into this one. This is your toughest opponent out of the 3, and believe me, it ain't that tough of an opponent.
I feel like you can try a few things against North Dakota and Georgia Southern that maybe you can't necessarily do in Ireland against Northwestern.
And there's that from the football perspective, but there's also just what happens when you are 1-0. You just
yeah, there'll be a big exhale. They won't say it, but there will be behind the scenes a big exhale.
Oh my God. Oh yes. Because the alternative, Josh, is very bad. Yes. I don't like at the same time. Well, I don't think we can overstate the importance of being 1-0. I don't think we can overstate the whatever it would be, whatever next week would turn into if Nebraska came home with an 0-1 record.
Pitchforks.
It just, I mean, not to, I'm probably gonna get a call from Joe, and he's gonna be like, "You're backing yourself into a corner.
Don't back yourself into a corner.
Back yourself into a corner, Joe." But I'm telling you, man, 1-0 for this program, just to have that, to look at it and say, we are ahead of the chains rather than behind them. We are on schedule instead of behind schedule. This program is basically nonstop operated from behind schedule over the last 4 years for a variety of different reasons, some of which were self-inflicted, some of which are just bad breaks. But to sit there and be 1-0 and then potentially and likely 2-0 and 3-0 going into a massive opportunity in a home game and a nationally televised, potential, almost even top 25 sort of battle. That's going to mean a lot, but you got to be 3-0. You got to be 3-0. And then you got to be 3-0 from the perspective of the entire season too, right? Like if they're not 3-0, show me the roadmap to get to 7-5 or to get to 6-6. It's just harder. It's just more difficult. We'll have our full season predictions this week. We'll have our divisional predictions. We'll throw in some, sort of like if this happens, this will happen things too. Some statistical predictions. We got a lot of ground to cover this week. I think if you've been listening to the show all summer and really all year, you have an idea of where we're headed. But we'll lay it all out there as we go on throughout the week. And then of course we'll predict the game. And just to start off, I'm pretty confident Nebraska wins on Saturday.
Confidence level out of 10.
Right now, 7.5.
Okay.
Would you call that pretty confident?
I would, yes.
Okay. I'm pretty confident that Nebraska wins on Saturday. Will there be some adversity? Probably. What will it look like? We'll see. And we have guesses. And that's why you have a sports radio show. You can feel free to call or text into that sports radio show. 402-951-1620. You can text that. You can tweet at Connor Happer, at Happer Show. Anytime you like. We are streaming on 1620 The Zone TV, which you can find at 1620thezone.com. It's a true story. When we get this on the text line, Ethan says this. Frost has started every year 0-1, right? This has to be a record. I really hope they get a win. Frost, they did win in 19. They were 1-0. They beat South Alabama, and then they were up 17-0 on Colorado at halftime, and everything was great. And Nebraska had a little number 25 by their name on the bottom line. And then, that game finished the way it finished, and you got, the flea flicker or whatever. All that stuff happened. And you went to overtime and still had a chance and missed. But we don't talk about that, except for a little bit we do today. Because Max Olson of The Athletic wrote a good story about Adrian Martinez. Talking to Adrian, he sort of, I don't want to say unloads, but he says some things that sort of went unsaid for the last year or 9 months here. And an interesting story about how his relationship with K-State all came to be, and the situation and the timing and the whereabouts of it, all pretty good. We'll get to that during the show today. And Max, the man who wrote the story, will join us at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. So yes, it's game week, but we'll talk a little bit about Adrian Martinez as well. Like I said, plenty of ways to get in touch with the show. We are off and running. Max will join. Mike Sautter will join. We saw high school football on Friday night. Bellevue West taking down Prep with a last-minute drive there.
Think you owe them an apology.
I mean, I wasn't Prep's going to destroy everybody.
I think the word blowout was used quite a few times between you and Mr. Benning.
I said it was possible. Damon always pushed back on that. He was like, I don't know. I just don't think so. I'll give him a little, he knows more of what he's talking about than me on that.
Sure.
I thought Prep would win by 10. They did not. They, in fact, lost by 7. So, yes, I apologize to Bellevue West and Mike Huffman. We'll talk to Sautter.
He's quite the little dancer. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, in his purple pants.
Yeah.
Quite the little dancer. Yeah, we can talk plenty about that as we
That's really all I got on the subject, though.
The lineup is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We're off and running on game week. The countdown is over because now you can just say it's game week. I have game notes in my
You
hand.
do, official.
Yeah, that's
stapled real. And everything.
And
color photos.
And you know what the game notes include, Josh? They include a whole bunch of random stats about Nebraska playing overseas and starting the season. And that's one of my favorite. I mean, we have to let these We have to let the people know about these things. Otherwise, they just go off into the wayside.
Somebody worked real hard on gathering those facts.
Yep. Keith and Seamus and everybody over there in the sports information department. So one thing that I try to do is I try to bring those to light every week. And we'll do that at some point this week. But the countdown's over because it is game week on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Casey Kane. You would think that as NASCAR's 2004 Rookie of the Year, I get my biggest thrill driving fast. But it's off the racetrack that I get one of life's greatest rewards, helping others through volunteer service. Working with kids is one way that I try to make a difference. The first time I visited chronically ill children in the hospital, I found out just how rewarding volunteering could be. By giving a little of my time, it brightened their day. I was so inspired that I started my own foundation to help sick children and kids without an opportunity to have a better chance at life. Through volunteer service, you learn things about the people you're helping, and you find out a few things about yourself. Volunteering is a rush, just like taking the checkered flag. Go to volunteer.gov to find out what drives you.
This is President George W. Bush. USA Freedom Corps has a volunteer opportunity that's just right for you. Visit volunteer.gov. When you help your neighbor, you help your nation.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
All right, Connor Happer, Josh Odson back with you on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Great news. Pukegate is over. Pukegate is officially ended. It had one more day left, and that day was yesterday. Scott Frost, I don't know if anybody's noticed, by the way. He gives opening statements now. I sort of chuckle every time. It's like, yeah.
Tunes the media out though.
Here is Scott Frost on clarification of some of the comments that he made last week that may have surprised some people about the amount of pukes that were in a practice. Here's Coach Frost yesterday.
I want to touch on the O-line things I said earlier this week. I was trying to portray how hard the O-line had been working and how proud of them I am. Might have exaggerated puking a little bit, but the important thing is I want to make sure everybody understands our training staff and weight staff do an unbelievable job of keeping me abreast of everything going on at practice. We have monitors, heart monitors. We know their complete output. We cut back practice if we think it's getting too hard or guys have spent too much. I talked about our practices this camp have been 3 on and 1 off, which is all an attempt to try to keep them healthy and fresh. So I know a lot got made out of that. I can assure you between Mark and the weight staff and I, we're doing absolutely everything to keep these guys healthy, and that's our number one priority.
I always laugh at the pauses, because he always wants to add a little bit more. And sometimes, so what you hear when he pauses there at the end, when he goes, and he kind of, purses lips. It's like, what that is to me, at least this is my read. And I think that, after watching these and how they go for the last couple of years, we have a pretty good read on exactly what's happening here. But what's happening there is him physically restraining himself from not saying anything else. What sounded like was about to happen was that he was about to be like, well, basically, some people got triggered for some reason. But he left that unsaid, and that's good. That's a good thing.
This whole statement was unnecessary.
And by the way, people did get triggered. That should not. I mean, it was a quote, and we talked about it quite a bit, but I guess we didn't talk about it that much. We didn't talk about it in its like validity that much. We just talked about how stupid it was mostly.
Because it was hilarious.
But man, that should not have gone as quote unquote viral as it did.
He was either being a bad comic or a liar, and which do you think is more likely? Come on.
Yeah. May have exaggerated a little bit. All right, Pukegate's over. Thank God.
R.I.P.
But we will definitely readdress that quote at some point during the season at an inopportune time for the coach.
What if someone pukes on the field Saturday?
That'd be really, really funny. It would have nothing to do with anything other than that. It's really, really, really funny.
Scott would give one of those.
Oh my God.
Like one of those where your body just drops and you look to the sky. Just one of those.
Why?
Come on.
Why me, God?
Poor guy.
Anything else? Break your leg? Sure. Just don't.
Don't puke.
A
lot of things can happen on that field today, guys. None of you can puke, though.
What we can't have is anybody puking. Or is he rooting for Pukes?
I told you.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I exaggerated the number a little bit, but this is what happens. We're working hard. No. That would mostly just be hilarious. A couple more things from Scott Frost yesterday, and he's pointing most of these things out. He sort of takes the questions where he wants to a lot of the times. But I thought this is really good about their sort of mindset going into last year's game and how they've tried to change that, tweak that, adjust that this year because of sort of the results of last year.
Yeah, I would say, I've talked to the team about that, and this game matters as much as the week 0 game last year. I would, looking back on it, say we were a little too tight going into that game because everybody knew how much it mattered. We're going to go out there and let it rip, and I'm going to have more conversations with them about it. They've earned the right to be confident. I'm sure Northwestern is too. I think they're going to be a really good team this year. But I don't want the guys to worry about anything. We're just going to go out and play the best football we can and try to make great play.
I think if it's possible, I do think there's a couple of different things going on here. The sense that I've gotten from the team, and I think this is pretty common coming out of a training camp. And by the way, I did not get this sense last year. I thought, even going into that Illinois game, they were tight. Still, with that being said, I thought they were going to be able to get the job done last year. And, one thing turned on them and it flipped pretty hard. But I think this is pretty natural coming out of training camp that there is a confidence about this, about the team. Frost said yesterday, they've earned the right to be confident. They've had a good camp. That's what he meant by that. They've had a good camp and they are confident. And look, it's good vibes when you are 0-0 and you're going in your first game and you're going overseas and the sort of excitement of hopping on a plane and doing that entire thing. I think there is a real confidence and looseness about the players from what I've experienced over the last couple of weeks here, just listening to them talk and then being around a little bit yesterday for the first time. I think there on the coaching staff, there is it's not as loose because there's the sense of we have these pieces and this is what we're going to attempt to do, but I still don't know how it's going to go. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I think that's also natural considering all of the changes that have happened this offseason. I think they're really, and Frost sort of alluded to this yesterday, I think they're really interested to see what happens when they hit their first case of adversity. When something goes poorly, if and when they turn the football over, if and when, they kick a ball out of bounds, if and when they punt it 100 feet in the air, but only 4 feet distance-wise, right? Like, whatever that is, whatever the first piece of adversity is, I think there is a sort of, coaches are kind of control freaks, and they want to know about every detail going into it. And I think they have an idea of what they think is going to happen or what they think needs to happen in order for them to win a football game and win this football game in particular. But just, I don't think you can know exactly. So the best coaches are able to sort of take the punches and roll with them. That hasn't necessarily been Nebraska's strength. But I want to hit on something that we talked about a little bit this summer, which I think could really help you in this exact situation going into this game. The new players don't have, and there is a lot of new players, including notably a new starting quarterback who I think is really confident. We'll get to him in a second. They don't feel this sort of weight and pressure of all of the last 4 years as everybody else who has been around does. And I think that freshness sort of permeates throughout the roster, especially when your quarterback is new to it and fresh. Now, he is not a stranger to pressure and what that means to be the quarterback at a big-time university. So that part of it's good, and that experience is good. But I think we would all agree We'll definitely talk about this when we talk about Adrian here in a little bit. But I think we would all agree that it's been a heavy last 4 years. And it was certainly a heavier even last 2 years. So making a change at quarterback just from that perspective and making all the changes that you did with your roster out of necessity, bringing transfers in. A few of your best players that you have on your team were not here last year. Casey Thompson wasn't here last year. Anthony Grant wasn't here last year. Trey Palmer wasn't here last year. Marcus Washington wasn't here last year. O'Shawn Mathis wasn't here last year. Devin Drew, Stephon Wynn were not here last year. The punter and the kicker were not here last year. Like, these are going to be really important pieces to your team and what you do, and they are sort of new to the energy around here. And when you lose and when you get behind the 8 ball, or as I said earlier in the show, behind the chain, sort of behind schedule, off schedule, that weight gets heavier and heavier. I just don't think they have that yet. And you don't have to develop it, right? They won't develop it if they start 1-0 and then 2-0 and then 3-0. You feel like you're ahead of things. And I think that makes a real big difference going into this game in particular. With that being said, I think there's an element where the coaching staff and the head coach, he still feels that, obviously, because it's his job on the line ultimately, and what's happened over the last 4 years. Now, that experience can work to your advantage too, in a couple different ways. You can figure out what hasn't worked and what has worked. But that is pretty big going into this game, in my opinion. And at the center of that is Casey Thompson, who's going to be Nebraska's starting quarterback, and literally does not get nervous.
No, I haven't gotten nervous. Actually, the most relaxed I ever was for a game was against in Dallas, Texas last year, October 9th, against OU. That was probably the most relaxed I was for a game. And it was a different experience. We talk about it a lot, but you basically go into like a meditation state. I don't know how to explain it, but I get really relaxed before games in the warm-ups. Yesterday, we had a staff member named Aura. He runs the head of the media and graphics. And he was like, "Are you ready for the game? Are you excited?" And I was like, "I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it and talking about it." So, no, I really don't get nervous. I would say last year, they named me the starter at Texas against Rice, week 3. And I remember getting on the bus from the hotel to the stadium. And that was the only time I got nervous the whole season, because that was my first start. I didn't know what to expect. But ever since then, I haven't really got nervous. So I would say even going against our defense some days, might be a little bit more nerve-wracking than getting ready for the game. But on Saturdays, I'll have complete confidence. And like I said, we're ready as a team and ready as an offense for sure.
Now, keep in mind, Casey Thompson was not voted as a captain for this team. There were 3 guys on the defense, 1 on the offense. Travis Vokalek was the guy on the offense. And then Nelson and who am I missing here? Nelson, Tanner, and who was the other captain? Oh no. What did I do? Where did it go?
Not in your notes?
Well, it is somewhere. Who am I forgetting? Help. Josh, help.
Heinrich, Nelson, Tanner, Vokalek.
Nick Henrich. Sorry. Yes. There you go. Sorry, Nick. Casey was not voted as a captain. But I do think the quarterback sort of energy permeates and what you have, there's a lot of different things that impress me about him. I think he's going to be a really good football player too, for Nebraska. I think he's going to do a lot of the right things. Obviously, the way he talks, he strikes you as a really detail-oriented guy, almost a perfectionist in a lot of different ways. And I think the leadership style with Adrian over the last couple of years was obviously a little bit different, a little less hands-on. And I think, frankly, he had to grow into that role quite a bit, and they wanted even more from him than they got from a leadership perspective. And that's okay when you're just, as long as you are not being dependent on to have everything work out well for you, as we'll once again talk about in a minute with Adrian. Casey is a pretty natural born leader from what I've heard. It seems pretty second nature to him. He's obviously polished when he gets in front of the media. Has really good recall, as you know, he did a couple of those things, and then gave us this whole scouting report on Northwestern, which you can hear right here.
Northwestern is a 4 down front, also known as even. That's their main front. Number 99, I think, is their best defensive lineman. He's really good, has a really good motor. They have a couple transfers, and they had one transfer from Stanford. You know, the two interior D linemen are transfers. And then they lost a safety, number 16. I think his name is Newsom, transferred to Notre Dame. So they got a new starter back there at safety. But they have some good players in the back end, but they're predominantly 4 down front. They play cover 4. And they rotate a little bit. They mix up, and they'll go one high. They'll go zone and man. They bring pressure occasionally.
And then he goes for another 40 seconds, but you get the point. He's a detail-oriented guy. He's a really hard worker. And I think that his attitude, I'm excited to see what that looks like as he becomes more and more comfortable in his role of being sort of a leader on this team. But I do think he's a pretty comfortable leader in the first place. It means a lot. So I don't know. What does that mean for Saturday? I have a pretty good feeling right now. I have a pretty good feeling about the season in general, but as long as you sort of take care of business. But there is no doubt about it. Like I said, I think there's two different things going on. I think there is a quiet confidence from the player perspective. I think they feel good about their leadership. I think there is a sort of wonder among the coaches of how, when bleep hits the fan, how it's going to look and what's going to happen. And I think the hope is that you're a good enough team that you could sort of overcome it against Northwestern, and then tighten things up afterwards when you get back home. But it's a big game. I don't know if we've heard that before, Josh. Have we called this a big game before?
Many have said.
Here's Scott Frost on the transfers meshing together and the player-led leadership.
I couldn't be happier with that piece, the meshing of these parts. Now, we haven't hit any adversity yet, and I think the first test of that will be when we hit some adversity. But in this day and age, with the ability to add transfers to your team, I think it makes guys like Garrett Nelson, Nick Henrich, Caleb, I could go on and on, makes those guys even more valuable, because we need to make sure our culture is in place and intact and strong. And then when you add new pieces, those guys come in and adopt that culture. And you can't have that balance go the wrong way. I think you can lose your team. The leadership on the team and the culture that already existed in the locker room, I think, was easy for the new guys coming in, and I compliment them. They did a great job coming in and being a part of a team, not an individual. So I'm really happy with where that sits.
That's Scott Frost yesterday. One thing we'll get to a little bit later is Caleb Tanner and his emergence to becoming a captain. Across the board yesterday, everybody talking about Caleb Tanner and saying, basically Garrett Nelson said it exactly this way. Garrett Nelson referred to Caleb Tanner at the beginning of his career as a hot mess. He was sort of a hot mess. But he figured things out, and that's led him to become a captain. So that's a really cool story. That we can look forward to, and he's become a leader on this defense. We'll hear from Scott Frost on him a little bit later in the show. Before we get to Max here, we'll preview that story here in just a second. But I did want to throw in one quip yesterday. Just Scott Frost talking about what he's looking forward to in Ireland. Scott Frost says that he has met many Irish people, but he has not met all of the Irish people.
What? What?
Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
I've met a lot of Irish people in my life, and they're awesome to be around. I haven't met all of them, obviously. There's a lot, but the ones I've met have been funny and friendly. And I said on the radio that I think the people of Nebraska and from what I know, the people of Ireland, I think it's going to be a fun mix, and I'm excited for the fans going over there as well.
Do you know that, Josh? There's a lot.
I had ballparked it as a lot. Yes.
Would it be possible for one person to meet all of the Irish people?
Full question. No, I don't think it would.
I don't think so either. How many people are in Ireland?
I'm going to bet a lot.
Population of Ireland. 5 million.
Okay. I mean, he's only there for what, 5 days, 6 days?
I don't think he's going to be able to meet all of them.
Yeah, going to be tricky.
But he's got a sampling. I would assume he's met a lot of them. So probably what, 2.5 million Irish people? Maybe 3 million Irish people he's met.
Yeah.
And they're all really nice.
I've met a lot of Irish people in my life, and they're awesome to be around. I haven't met all of them, obviously. There's a lot.
The Irish known for their friendly good nature.
Yeah. That's what they're known for.
A warm, welcoming people.
I've met all of them. Well, I look forward to Scott Frost being on his quest to meet all of them. Champagne Appreciation Club tweets in, and I think this is pretty spot on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I refuse to believe that Frost and Taylor Martinez are two different people. That Irish people take is pure tea magic. I love playing against road games. Sometimes they just say, like, I'm not, it's just funny. Sometimes they just say things. Met a lot of Irish people. Like, what was the reasoning for saying this?
I've met a lot of Irish people in my life, and they're awesome to be around. I haven't met all of them, obviously. There's a lot, but
I love it so much.
I don't. You cut this audio. I don't suppose you remember the question posed.
It was basically, like an innocuous, like, how do you feel about the fans going over there, and what do you think that'll be like? I think.
Sure.
Does that help?
I mean, that's kind of what I thought it was. I mean, maybe ask a more specific question to get a more specific answer, but we got a pretty good one here.
Oh, yeah. We'll take this all day long.
It was clearly, how the hell am I going to answer that question? Yeah, I've met some Irish people. They're cool.
Report from Brett McMurphy of the Action Network,
who has Miami in the college football playoff this season.
And has Nebraska as a top 25 team to start.
I like that guy.
Oregon has initiated preliminary discussions with the Big Ten in Chicago to determine if the Ducks are compatible in the conference.
Let's go!
You thought conference realignment was just an off-season conversation? Think again.
Quack, quack, Mr. Warren. Quack, quack.
Outgoing University of Oregon President Michael Schill, Oregon AD Rob Mullins, and Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren were not involved in the discussions in Chicago, another source said, but somehow there are discussions.
Who'd they call?
I don't know.
They didn't call anyone important.
Who did they call? The president's not involved. The AD's not involved. And Kevin Warren's not involved. So who called who? And how official are these discussions?
I feel like one of the coaches called Mike Hall at BTN.
How do you like it over there?
Is it good? What do you think about us over there? Get some Oregon replays? We got diners. You guys can come bring that Campus Eats show here. How's Jerry DiNardo these days? Is he cantankerous?
I don't know what preliminary discussions mean, but these seem very preliminary. This seems to me like
they were actually asking for Kevin Warren's phone number.
Yeah, I'm one of those people at Oregon, and I'm Hey, give me Brett McMurphy on the line. I'm going to call Brett McMurphy, and I'm going to tell him, guess what? You put the word out there that Oregon wants in the Big Ten.
I've got Brett McMurphy's phone number right here.
You tell him, you put the word out there that we back up. You put the word out there that Oregon wants in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten might want Oregon. Well, we'll see where that one goes.
It's a meme we don't use enough.
It would be quite the move if the Big Ten was just like, yeah, we'll take Oregon by themselves now. Seems unlikely, right? But good for Oregon for trying. We'll see where that one goes. All right, so today in The Athletic, Max Olson, he talked to Adrian Martinez, former Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez, remember? About sort of, a lot of different things about what's happened over the last year, about what happened over his 4-year career at Nebraska, how the whole K-State thing came about. Interestingly enough, and we'll talk to Max next, we'll give it a little preview here first. So Adrian, fresh off of shoulder surgery, Nebraska's season had just ended a couple weeks prior. Remember, he didn't play in the Iowa game. A couple of weeks later, Adrian Martinez goes into the transfer portal. If I remember right before Christmas, Adrian goes into the transfer portal, and K-State's offensive coordinator, Colin Klein, is in Kansas City. He's out recruiting. And he hears word that Adrian Martinez has gone to the transfer portal, and he hightails it up to Lincoln and says, hey, you want to meet? You want to go out to dinner somewhere? And Adrian says, yes, Hopcat. Let's go to Hopcat downtown. So Adrian walks in. This is all in the story. Adrian walks into Hopcat, where he's fresh off of 4 years being the Nebraska starter wearing a sling, and he gets a standing ovation. He gets people starting to clap for him at Hopcat. He signs a couple autographs. And meanwhile, he sits down with Colin Klein about his transfer destination. Sort of a funny start, right? And then he has some quotes about Nebraska in here. The one that stuck out to me, and I don't know if any of this is breaking news or anything like that, but he says, if you look across the Big Ten, I don't think any other team asked their quarterback to do as much as I had to do at Nebraska. I think that's just a fact. That's one of many things that he said reflecting on his time at Nebraska and what he thinks might be different going forward. We'll talk about that and college football at large with Max Olson of The Athletic next on 1620 The Zone.
Introducing the all-new 2 for $5 menu at Sonic. Can't decide on what to eat? We made the choice a little easier for you. Right now at Sonic, you can choose any 2 of these mouth-watering classics. The full-size Fritos chili cheese wrap, small crispy jumbo popcorn chicken, or a juicy quarter-pound double cheeseburger for just $5. Get more of what you want with the all-new 2 for $5 menu, only at Sonic or in the app. Exclusions apply. Mobile ordering available at select locations. Hours may vary. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins. Fritos is a trademark of Frito-Lay North America, Inc. Copyright 2022.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you have played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Sautter, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building, you can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Nebraska football has felt cursed these last couple decades.
A huge upset
62 points. Nebraska will have to look elsewhere for the man to replace Frank Solich.
But you can help to break the curse. August 25th at Haymarket Park with KLIN and 1620 The Zone. All ages are invited to this free event that will feature food, drinks, music from the Killigans, and of course, curse breaking. Join us Thursday as we break the curse.
With video games, I'm often choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them. Hey, Mom, how about this one? Rated T for teen with violence and suggestive themes. Let me check the rating summary. Frenetic combat, cries of pain, female warlords expose cleavage. Maybe the other one's better. The rating summaries are free. Use them, and you'll be armed with the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
For more information, go to esrb.org.
Morning, Mama. How you feeling?
Great, and I'm ready for you today.
I'm checking in on you. Morning meditation?
Check.
Dressed and ready to work out?
Check.
Check your blood pressure yet?
And check.
Boom! Great job, Mom. And about those gold earrings?
No, ma'am.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Monitor your blood pressure daily and help each other stay motivated. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back for the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Hodson with you. We're joined on the phone by Max Olson from The Athletic. Hello, Max. How are you?
Hey, Connor. Thanks for having me on. I'm good.
You're welcome. I think I was looking back at our text messages, and I'm pretty sure we had you on maybe one of the first 2 days of this show and not since. So maybe this is it. This is it for us.
Yeah, I think that it turns out you found a lot of people that you could talk to in the meantime. So congrats to you. But I clearly we've been building the anticipation for this return trip here.
Hey, I want to get to just some college football stuff at large here as we go on. But let's start with the story that you put out today about Adrian Martinez and sort of his time at Nebraska. The end of his time at Nebraska and now the beginning of his time at K-State. Starts off. Really interestingly, as we were just explaining the sort of lead to the story before you came on, he has the meeting with K-State in downtown Lincoln, basically 2 or 3 weeks after his season ended, and walks into a bar in Lincoln, a restaurant in Lincoln, gets a standing ovation, signs some autographs, and then plans out his future with Colin Klein right there in that restaurant. I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if there's anything beyond that, but it happened pretty quick for him, it sounded like.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we didn't see 10 different pictures of him and Colin Klein having dinner posted on Twitter that night from people at a restaurant, right? I think doing all that stuff out in the open is pretty wild. And I know that he met with some Big Ten offensive coordinators at Hopcat in the days after that. So how are we not all just posted up there with getting the scoop?
I guess because he found the safe haven. He was like, I guess I can go here and nobody will ever know about it except for the people that are there.
I mean, it's like if you're in a restaurant and you see that guy and you've been seeing him for 4 years, how would you not immediately understand that Adrian Martinez meeting with somebody else? But this was a fascinating process for him, and I think a chance the portal process went really fast for him, and it came down to K-State over Cal, but. He had a bunch of Big Ten schools that were interested, 5 of them that were interested in bringing him in. And I think for him, the whole process was kind of pretty validating, especially from those coaches who competed with him for 4 years. And yeah, they know his game and all that, but the fact that there were, these schools that really respected what he could do as a playmaker and kind of understood the tough circumstances of his 4 years at Nebraska, I think that he definitely got something out of that to hear that, there are people that wanted him. And, he wouldn't tell me who all the Big Ten schools were. I think I have a hunch that a bunch of them were actually in the division. But, it's kind of, it would have been nuts if he decided to play against Nebraska this year. Won't happen unless it's a bowl game. But, a lot of Big Ten interest in Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, that's not surprising. And given the quarterback situation around the division as well, you sort of look around and you can probably connect your dot or two. And the way that coaches routinely talked about him when they played against Nebraska, you had the quote in there from Bielema after last year about how, we thought the only guy that could beat us was number 2. What do you think, Adrian, I guess if you could sum it up, how do you think he feels about, the last 4 years, obviously, but also sort of the way it ended here at Nebraska?
Yeah, that's a doozy of a question. I think that to his credit, when I sat down with Adrian Martinez this spring for 45 minutes and we got into, we unpacked a lot of this. I mean, there's just a lot to cover over 4 years. I mean, it was funny as I walked away from it, I was like, man, I didn't even really bring up McCaffrey or Maurice Washington or like all these other crazy things that happened in these 4 years because there's just so much that went on. And I think to his credit, you're never going to hear him, sort of put the blame on other people, coaches, teammates, position groups, whatever. Like this is a guy that almost to a fault throughout those 4 years, always put it on himself and said he should have made the plays, he shouldn't have made the mistakes and all that. And, he still feels the same way. I mean, and he doesn't want to burn any bridges with Nebraska. He still loves Nebraska and loves his alma mater, still wants to have a good relationship to the school. And, he hopes that they win this year for his buddies. He hopes Casey Thompson gets it done. But I think that it's a guy that really went through a lot. And obviously a lot of that we saw publicly for 4 years, and some of it, like the broken jaw that, he played through. People just probably didn't really totally understand what it was like to go through. And I think that it's tough being the guy for 4 years, especially a place like this, and with the microscope that comes with it, and obviously with all the losing that has come with it. So, I think as you've seen over the past year or so, like obviously he wants to get his perspective out there. That's why he started his podcast. I think his side of the story is pretty compelling, and he wants to share it, and he wants people to understand it. And I don't feel like there's a lot of spin to it. I think he's pretty honest about the mistakes he made and the challenges he went through and what it was like to go through it, how difficult it was at times. But this is a guy that there's just so much baggage there, and it made a lot of sense that as much as Nebraska might be better this year, he needed a fresh start and really new environment.
I find it's such an unfortunate story for a lot of different ways, and the way it sort of ended up at Nebraska for him, not, including all the things you just went through, like and especially the losing. But the fact is now I think both parties are going to be, able to really, really learn a lot from what happened. Now the question is, did you have to do 4 years of it to sort of learn the lesson? But I mean, Nebraska, I think, has taken on a really, really different approach with their quarterbacks and what part they're going to play within the offense. And I think Adrian is in a spot where he could sort of benefit from the same thing at K-State. Would you agree?
I think so. And I know that to a lot of folks, like I'm sure there's folks who will be kind of peeking at the box scores for Adrian Martinez this year and flipping over their games. And I understand wanting to kind of treat it like this referendum on the last 4 years. Part of it is obviously that, and I don't know how fair that really is, because, however successful Casey Thompson is or Chubba Purdy is or whoever, obviously it's going to have a lot to do with Mark Whipple, and if Adrian Martinez is really successful this year, it's going to have a lot to do with Colin Klein and what they're doing on offense at K-State. So like, there's going to be reasons for that. It doesn't just come down to Adrian Martinez versus Scott Frost or anything like that. And I don't think he sees it that way, but there's no doubt that I think on both sides here, it's kind of the same gamble. It's at K-State, Adrian Martinez is going to a place where it's new everything around him. And, we're going to find out, what can he prove? Can he become the guy that gets it done? And I think at Nebraska, we're kind of seeing the same thing. We changed a lot of the key things around Scott Frost and brought in a lot of new players and new ideas and stuff. And we're going to find out, how much of the last years is on, poor quarterback play and how much of it is on just the overall, dysfunction of the program. And so that will be fascinating to watch. I don't think that should mean Nebraska fans should be rooting against Adrian Martinez, have a rough year to feel better about those 4 years or anything like that. But there's no question. I think K-State's going to be pretty fun to watch. Yeah. I think they're a team that has a chance to be kind of a dark horse Big 12 title contender. But that's going to come down to Adrian Martinez, and can he play well and be consistent for 12 games and not turn it over a ton?
That was sort of my next question. I mean, you know the Big 12 as well as anybody. Your thoughts on K-State's ability to sort of compete in that league with what you know about Adrian Martinez, and then just I mean the league in general, because it's some may view it as more of a toss-up than it has been with a little bit of a shakeup at Oklahoma. I guess what are you expecting out of the Big 12 and K-State in particular this year?
Yeah, I think K-State is in great shape here. They've got a bunch of really good pieces back. Deuce Vaughn's just one of the best playmakers in the country, bottom line, and that's something that Adrian Martinez has not really had over the last 3 years at Nebraska. I mean, I looked it up, and if you, over that 3-year span from 19 to 21, if you look at team rushing and kind of filter it down a little bit, Nebraska, third in the country in quarterback rushing over the last 3 years combined, and 122nd in running back rushing over that period. Like, he just didn't really have that kind of help in the run game that he needed to be a little bit more successful, take some of the pressure off. You saw how people teed off on him last year. So I think that Deuce Vaughn's presence, I think they've got a solid receiving group. I think they've got a good O-line. They've got some really nice players on defense. And, you know, I think K-State's well-positioned this year because the Big 12, I don't really see a playoff team in the Big 12 this year. I think there's probably a bunch of teams that you're kind of putting on that 8 to 10 win kind of track. And Oklahoma's there. Certainly Baylor's there. Oklahoma State, maybe Texas if they do some things right. I'm not quite sold on them, but that's what they're shooting for this year. And K-State as well. I think K-State has, you know, the right players around Adrian Martinez, and I think Colin Klein is going to improve that offense this year. You know, that's a team that if they can win the close games, they could get to the Big 12 title game.
Max, switching gears a little bit. I mean, it's sort of based on the last one there. You mentioned Baylor. How hot of a name is Dave Aranda going to be? He was already this past year. I would assume that it'll even be more so this year if Baylor's to have success again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he's a fascinating guy. He's just a very different cat. One of my favorite guys to talk to because you're not going to have a conversation with him that's like any other head coach in college football. He's a lot more. He's really intelligent. He's very cerebral. He's very thoughtful, and he's clearly his way is working at Baylor. He's kind of figured out how to be a head coach and how to he went through a really rough year one there. But they flipped things really fast and had the best season in school history last year at Baylor. And I do wonder, kind of what's his ambition? I think that he's, like when USC and Oklahoma and some of those jobs were out there, they really weren't all that appealing to him. LSU obviously opened up last year and LSU didn't call him. I think he's really happy where he's at in Waco. But it's just hard to anticipate which of these big jobs are really going to open up here because that last cycle was just so crazy. And that would have been the perfect time for him to make a move and he didn't do it. I think he's got a chance, especially with the way the Big 12 is changing when Texas and Oklahoma leave. Baylor's in as good a shape as anybody to really have a kind of a dominant run here over the next 5-10 years in terms of just the recruiting and the resources and all that. So I think he's in a good spot, but I think that's a name that will continue to be hot for sure with jobs and, kind of which of those big ones would take a chance on him.
Out of the 4 or 5 contenders in the Big Ten West, which one stands out to you the most?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure there's one I'm really in love with of all of them. Yeah. I think it's going to be a pretty good battle this year. I think Braylon Allen was super exciting to watch last year and gives you some confidence that Wisconsin's going to do what Wisconsin does, but you would have liked to see them improve the quarterback position in some way. And so kind of running it back with Mertz, I think it's going to be interesting. I think that they've got a lot of, really good players back, but I don't know. That's where I can see that race kind of shaking out a bunch of different ways. I can understand there being, some love for Purdue or Iowa or others. But I don't know. Is there one you feel like this is the team everyone's afraid of this year?
Nope, not at all. And I mean, I think everybody's sort of taking turns with. I consistently, it's like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll just default to Wisconsin, or I like Iowa this year because of their defense, and I like Minnesota because of all their experience. And here comes Purdue, and then you even get a twinge of Nebraska every now and again. It's as like flat at the top of this division as I've ever. I mean, I feel like we say something like that about every year because of sort of the lack of national respect we give to Wisconsin. But I do think it's true. It's really flat at the top of the division.
Yeah, and I think you saw that where other than the Northwestern game last year, like that's partly why Nebraska was in so many close games. Is like these teams are all, relatively similar in terms of just how they're going to show up from week to week and how good they really are. What would have been pretty sweet is if Wisconsin had Caleb Williams, and for like a minute there, they were going to it. If that happens, we're talking about them very differently. But yeah, I think especially with the QB issues at Wisconsin and Iowa, it's just trying. It's hard to kind of know how much you're really supposed to be in love with this right now, as good as the defenses could be.
Yep, I'm with you. Max, great stuff. I would encourage people to read the story about Adrian Martinez today in The Athletic. We appreciate it. We'll talk more now that we're starting up football again.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
That's Max Olson from The Athletic. Yeah, it's a good story. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but there's some good quotes in there. And once again, I think the story is not like, man, we need to, or I understand people get sort of annoyed by it. Like, why are we talking about Adrian Martinez and it's game week? But more so than that, I think it's hey, we can look at this guy and Nebraska can sort of come to grips with what they did or didn't do to help or whatever surrounding him over the last 4 years. And I think Adrian has sort of understood that part of it too. And frankly, like I said, I think Nebraska can get a lot better, and they've learned a lot of lessons from. Unfortunately, Adrian Martinez had to be sort of the sacrificial lamb for it, I think, over the last couple of years here. But look at what Nebraska, decided to do, or my impression, I guess, of what they've done with their quarterback. It's not going to be as much about the quarterback. This is a good thing. It was so about the quarterback the last 4 years for Nebraska football. So lessons learned. And I think it could be a story where, both parties can have relative success this year. We will come back with the odd news from Josh next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So it is just like Severe says. It's just a walking move.
They SEAL Team 6 into Mountain Dew.
What kind of an action-adventure story is this? You don't meander into the breach. You attack the breach. You charge into the breach. What a dumb story this is.
It's Frodo. Imagine Nick trying to go into like a really protected area.
Again,
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
If you're passionate about coffee, you should consider a career at Host Coffee as a valued service technician to install, repair, and rebuild state-of-the-art commercial coffee, iced tea, espresso, juice, cappuccino machines, and water coolers. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Imagine it's a scorcher and your home's AC just quit. Sometimes it's beyond repair and needs to be replaced. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. Modern AC systems are more energy efficient, which is good news for your energy bill. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Odson.
All right, quickly before we get to the odd news, some bad news out of Nebraska basketball this morning. Karan McPherson has suffered a season-ending knee injury in training prior to returning to Lincoln for the start of the semester. He was a guy who redshirted last year, but I remember them being pretty optimistic about his ability to, to give them something. And frankly, I think he fits into their idea of where they're headed this year for Nebraska basketball. A little bit more defensive oriented, tough-minded, that kind of guy. Fred Hoiberg says he had a very good summer and worked hard to put himself in position for playing time. He came back from a similar injury in high school to play at a high level, so he understands the rehab process. And I think he'll get back to health, but 6 to 8 months for that. So he will be done for the year. And with that, we go straight into the odd news.
Are you ready to laugh? We begin in Iowa at the Iowa State Fair. You're familiar?
Oh, I am.
Okay.
I saw a lot of, apparently a lot of people that I know were at the Iowa State Fair this weekend.
Oh, it's a to-do.
The Iowa State Fair greater than the Nebraska State Fair?
100%.
Okay. We're at a weird spot on from a geographical standpoint where both state fairs are about equidistant from where we're at here.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming the Nebraska one's still in Grand Island, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No,
Okay. Hold on.
not a fair guy.
A quick Google here.
Fair food, I'm in. Fair people, listen.
It is held annually in Grand Island.
There you go.
The fair runs for 11 days, and it ends on Labor Day. 11 days ending on Labor Day. So 11 days before Labor Day is when the state fair starts in Nebraska.
That's got to be real soon, right?
Labor Day is 2 weeks from today. So the state fair starts Thursday.
Okay.
Boom.
Glad we did that math together.
Hello.
What do you know about the Iowa State Fair? What are some of the things?
Normal fair things.
Are you familiar with the butter cow?
The butter cow?
Yeah.
No.
It is a cow made out of butter. It has been an attraction at the Iowa State Fair since 1911.
Ooh,
It is different butter every year.
how does it stay butter?
I believe it's in some sort of refrigerated
Okay, that's helpful.
contraption.
Can you take a butter knife and take some butter off the butter cow?
No,
And
that
butter
would
your
be
own bread?
very scandalous. Don't do that.
Okay.
It's been shown to generations of Iowans on proud display inside the Ag building at the fairgrounds. But over the weekend, the butter cow added a unique chapter to its story as two lucky lovebirds began their engagement right inside of its cooler. Nick Buckton came up with the idea, a lifelong fan of the state fair. Get a life, guy.
I'm going to take a look at this thing.
He had an idea to make his proposal one to remember. You better believe that I've had this idea for quite a while. I was dairy nervous at first.
Oh, come
But you know it ended up turning out all right, Buckton said. That's a quote. That's not cheesy news article jargon. That's
cheesy.
That's a quote. And Buckton and his now fiancée, Mackenzie Berger, have been together for about 2 years. During an ordinary visit to the state fair, the couple stopped to take a look at the butter cow, where they met Sarah Pratt, this year's sculptor of said butter cow. I was pretty nervous. I was texting Sarah, the artist, frantically and making sure everything was in place, said Buckton. After that chance encounter, the couple got to take a behind-the-scenes look at the 600-pound sculpture. Once they were in place, Buckton put his plan into action. It all seemed to turn out pretty well when Berger accepted his proposal. I just thought Sarah did a great job. I thought we just kind of hit it off, and she was like, hey, I want to show you guys the butter cow, Berger said. She had no idea it was coming.
Oh, when you have an in with the butter cow, I think you got to take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to make that your proposal.
Your thoughts on the butter cow, having now
pretty
seen
cool, man. Pretty cool. Not sure that I would stage a significant life event there.
No.
But I have different takes on that than seemingly a lot of people who decide to get engaged in very public places.
It happens so much.
So much.
And so many people say, no, not for me.
I know. Yes. It doesn't add up.
Doesn't.
What's going on here? It doesn't add up. For as many people that say this is stupid, it still happens every day.
A lot of public proposals out there. Not a lot of people outwardly go, yes, I'm in for a public proposal.
The math is not right here. Something is off.
Right.
I'm interested in the butter cow though, and honestly, the Iowa State Fair has been hyped up quite a bit. So maybe it's time to.
It's
make
one
the trek.
of one of the bigger state fairs here in 2022.
What are some of the main attractions
of the Iowa State Fair?
Yeah,
the butter cow, the food. They have they had a nacho plate that was on the Field of Dreams game.
Okay,
to kind of like promote, hey, the Iowa State Fair's coming. You can get this pile of
naturally.
It's garbage food. They get this pile of garbage.
We got tractor pulls. We got
yeah.
short course UTV and ATV racing. We got the demolition derby.
Probably some pig judging.
Thrillville, Thrill Town, Thrill Zone are all separate things.
Wow, that's a lot of thrills in one spot.
Yep. Yeah, I would definitely grab a corn dog for sure.
I think later, like after the sun goes down, Vodka Sam comes out from her hiding hole and entertains the masses.
Really?
No, I just made that up.
Let's say it's pretty cool.
Probably some pretty big musical acts.
Let's take a look at some of the food vendors here.
Who's playing at the Iowa State Fair this year? Let's see. That was 11 days ago. Skillet, Brooks and Dunn, Nelly.
Hello.
Demi Lovato, Alanis Morissette.
Nelly has been doing the small town tour
with special guest Genuine.
Wow. Really? They do Pony?
Of course.
But yes, Nelly's been doing the small, like Nelly was in Hastings a couple weeks ago. This is real. Nelly has been doing the small town tour, and I think it's a massive hit.
ZZ Top, not sure how that's possible. Kane Brown, Disturbed, Keith Urban, Carrie Underwood last night.
So the Iowa State Fair is where you get your big old bucket of cookies, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I remember seeing that around this time of year. Big old bucket of cookies.
Big old bucket of cookies.
I mean, hey, you go into the thing. It's like, I want some cookies. How about a bucket of cookies? Yes, please. I'm at the State Fair. It's time to indulge myself.
It pales in comparison, but we do go to Papa John's for our next story. It's no bucket of cookies.
Could never be.
But a customer incensed.
Will on the text line, butter cow, utterly ridiculous. Stop.
Damn it, Will. Customer incensed that his pizza box did not include the cup of garlic.
Oh, that's huge.
And the pepperoncini that comes with it.
What did he do? Was he very rational in his response?
You know what? Shockingly, Connor, he was not. He went back to the Papa John's and assaulted the pizza cook with the big paddle.
Oh, no.
that
He grabbed
they
the paddle
scooped the
out and
pizza.
started hitting people with it.
He did. Investigators say that after purchasing a pizza Wednesday night, Herbert Harris, 40 years young, old enough to know better, returned to a Papa John's just outside of Baltimore to complain that garlic sauce and pepperoncinis were not included with the pizza. Cops say he argued about the missing Italian peppers and garlic sauce when he began to assault Robert Klein, 26-year-old Papa John's employee. During the dispute,
poor kid,
he began chasing Klein around the store, assaulting him with the metal pizza paddle. Unable to escape the assault and in fear of his safety,
take the garlic! Take it!
Klein grabbed what in this story is described as a pizza spear to defend himself from the attack.
Oh, no.
Nicking Harris in self-defense.
Oh, no.
Thus ending the assault.
Oh, yeah, well, when somebody starts bleeding, it's over.
Cops arrived at the Papa John's. Harris, who lives 2 miles from the restaurant, was holding a T-shirt to the stab wound. He was subsequently transported to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries, so we can laugh at his misfortune. Harris has been charged with misdemeanor assault.
Really?
Yes.
Charged for that?
The pizza paddle guy, the angry customer, was charged with assault.
Oh, okay. I had the names backwards.
No charge for the Papa John's employee.
I was gonna say you can claim self-defense on that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Okay.
I understand. We like the garlic dips with the Papa John's pizza.
Yep.
The pepperoncini, I could give or take.
Yeah, if you're feeling really, if you're in your feelings a little bit and you're like, you know what, it's a Papa John's night and I'm gonna need to load up on the garlic sauce.
Need my dips.
And you don't get that. I think it's just the right cocktail.
I understand the anger.
Head back to Papa John's and start slapping people with the pizza thing.
However, maybe go to the gym or something. And I say that as a person who does not go to the gym. Gotta find an outlet for that anger. We end in Florida.
What's that? What is a pizza spear though?
I don't know. Can we Google pizza spear?
Sure we can.
What? I mean,
no, not pizza spearfish.
Hey, that's what happened to me too.
Pizza spear.
We're on the same page. Oh, it's the bubble popper. Okay.
There's a bubble popper?
Yeah, sometimes your dough gets that one big, huge bubble of dough. You got to pop that thing or, your pizza's going to be all messed up.
Huh. I'm seeing different. Oh, okay. Hey, you know the Little Caesars guy?
He's carrying a pizza spear.
He's got a pizza spear and he's got 2 pizzas stabbed right on there.
Okay. It's all coming together.
Just imagine if that was a person.
New Little Caesars logo.
That's a really good Halloween costume. It comes with pizza.
Hot and ready.
Yeah.
We end in Florida. A Florida man was arrested Thursday after he tried to stash some meth under a cop car during a traffic stop. Body cam video showed a responding deputy tell Lee Sandberg, 49 years young, that she needed to get her written warning from another deputy who was patting down her boyfriend, 49-year-old John Schneider. While he was being patted down, Schneider was spotted dropping a bag under the deputy's patrol car, prompting the deputies to handcuff him immediately.
Has anybody ever gotten away with that? like the whole ditch it because they're gonna, you know,
They're gonna find these drugs. I gotta ditch them.
Yeah, I gotta ditch them, and they definitely won't see me ditch them when they're right behind me and there's cameras everywhere. I don't think anybody in the history of time's gotten away with that.
One of the deputies is seen and heard proclaiming, "He just dropped a bag that looks like dope."
Littering and
the man's girlfriend responded, and I quote,
"Smoking the reefer."
Oh man.
Good one.
It just tickled me just right. Oh man.
Oh man.
Detectives said Schneider had dropped half a pound of meth that he bought outside of Volusia County.
Heavy.
Yeah, the man was suspected. Was taking it to a home in Orange City. This is a very Floridian written article here. Sandberg was also handcuffed while saying that the methamphetamine wasn't hers. Meanwhile, Schneider acted like the methamphetamine wasn't his. I mean, whatever. You might as well try to lie, the deputy said. You ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah. Deputy's making fun of him during the arrest.
Just a bad spot.
A deputy said they found another gram inside the boyfriend's right sock.
Oof.
He was charged with trafficking, tampering, and resisting.
I didn't think to get rid of that one.
No, they were never going to find that one.
All right, that is the odd news. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Meth comes up a lot if you're new to this segment. Meth in Florida.
Meth and Florida, yes.
The two most common things found on the odd news. All right, coming back for the noon hour at the bottom of the hour of Mike Sautter to talk some high school football. We had a really nice game on Friday night between Bellevue West and Prep, and then everybody else opens this week. So we'll go through the slate with him. Also, Sautter has become a professional popcorn eater.
Oh,
yeah,
I am intrigued.
He's doing popcorn reviews as he goes to various stadiums this fall and winter.
Oh, I love this idea. Okay.
You have questions? And Mike Sautter will have answers. We will come back for the noon hour next on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
As the end of summer draws near, the vacation season is just starting for customers at Greenberg's Jewelers. For a very limited time, when you make a purchase of $3,000 or more at Greenberg's, you'll get a $500 gift card to use for airfare to one of over 100 destinations in the U.S. and Mexico. If you were thinking about an engagement ring in the next few months, it's time to buy the ring now. Considering a gorgeous diamond pendant or anniversary ring? Get it now from Greenberg's and get free airfare. Imagine the look on her face when the engagement is topped off with a honeymoon or vacation to Cancun, Las Vegas, New York City, Los Angeles, or one of many other destinations. Greenberg's has the absolute latest styles in jewelry. Stackable rings, stunning solitaires, love story rings, dazzling pendants, and of course, hearts on fire diamonds are all at Greenberg's. And get a $500 airfare gift card from Greenberg's Jewelers with any purchase of $3,000 or more. But hurry, a deal like this won't last. Greenberg's Jewelers, West Roads Mall, a cut above the rest. Some restrictions apply.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth with Creighton Volleyball here. The 2022 season has arrived, and we need you in the stands as we look to defend our Big East title. Our 15-match home schedule is one of our best ever. In addition to our tough Big East slate, we are also hosting some of the top teams in the country, including Kentucky, USC, and Nebraska. Don't miss any of the action this season and get your tickets online now at gocreighton.com/buy. Go Jays!
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Being in business 100 years can't be easy. Rotella's Bakery is that business. Great family-owned and operated business that understands the needs of the community. They specialize in breads and rolls made from the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that they are superior in taste. At Rotella's, with 5 great generations represented, the American success story is combined with customer satisfaction, and they don't compromise in quality. For more information about their specialty breads, you can visit rotellasbakery.com.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
I think the question that we all need to be asking ourselves today is, what do you have enough of that you can photograph yourself taking a bath with? That is what young 4-star athlete Malachi Coleman came up with an answer to over the weekend when he had posted a picture of himself in a bathtub, covered in letters from universities that are offering him scholarships. He is also on the phone. And he is also, he's fake on the phone. He's like holding the phone up to his ear, giving the peace sign, and wearing a Nebraska hat.
If you're on the stream, the video stream, I've incorporated it into the graphic here.
As you can see, it's right
there. That's not a guy in the studio with us. That's a graphic.
Coleman takes bath with offers. Subheader: viral photo shows volume of offers.
This is why Bronny James not being recruited is so wild, because it doesn't cost much to send a letter anymore.
I'm sure he's received letters, right?
I would think so.
The picture is so funny by itself.
And that's only like half the bathtub over there. I couldn't put the whole bathtub, or I would be cropped out of the shot.
The caption of the photo that Malachi posted on Twitter was "Where's home?" with 2 question marks. As you might have been able to predict, that resulted in a lot of different answers from people on Twitter who were either giving him advice or rooting for their own school to secure the commitment of one Malachi Coleman.
He's wearing a Nebraska hat in the photo. That's a leg up for the Huskers.
You think that's a tip off? But who's he on the phone with?
Yeah.
Who's he on the phone with?
Mm-hmm.
What does the peace sign mean? Does that mean USC? V? V for victory?
Fresno State has a V on the back of their helmet.
Interesting.
Is it a clue?
I see Oregon in there, future Big Ten school Oregon. They have a letter in there.
K-State prominently on top.
Very prominent.
That Power Cat.
There's definitely a couple Nebraska letters in there. I just think I want to recreate this somehow, Josh.
Okay.
I think I want to hop in my tub tonight,
What do you have?
I don't know. That's what I want to figure out.
I want to also ask the question, do you think that is a bathtub entirely filled with offers, or just the top layer is offers, the rest is just random junk mail?
It looks like all.
It does look like all offers. I will give them
I don't
that.
know if it's all offers, but sometimes they just send out letters probably once a week, maybe even once a day.
Hey, here's the brochure that we give every incoming student.
I realized on Sunday that I hadn't checked the mail in, I don't know, probably several weeks.
Good. I hate the mail.
I
Completely
love the
worthless.
mail. I love getting mail.
Of course you do.
But it's all so worthless. It's all credit card companies asking me to be in their credit card.
And then it sits,
because they're smart and they know that I might do it.
It sits on my kitchen counter. We can't throw it away because it's got sensitive information.
I just throw it away.
I want to as well. My wife won't let me.
Just
Okay.
throw it right away. It goes right in the trash. I also had a package that I forgot I ordered. So that was cool. So what do I put in my tub? What do I cover myself with in my tub?
Baseball cards, baseballs, hats.
Hats. Hey, hats.
I think you could do hats.
I definitely have enough hats.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say,
shoes? Are you a shoes guy?
And I'll say, where's home? Or what's home? Or something like that. Who's next? I absolutely have enough hats to do this with. Hats is a good one.
You have to be on the phone giving the peace sign.
I don't know if this would go over really well for me because people are like, what are you making fun of an 18-year-old kid? Yeah, I am.
No, I'm copying him to gain social clout.
I am, but I am making fun of the 18-year-old kid. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. You do a tweet with covered in letters from the mail. Sorry.
What am I just supposed to not imitate that?
Am I going to just ignore this? Okay, that would be a top contender. Maybe Josh's top 5 things he would bathe himself in.
Top 5 things I could take a bath in.
That's what Cody said on the text line. Top 5 topic needs to be what you should cover yourself with in the bathtub for your photo.
Number 3, SpaghettiOs. Not the cans. You got to open the cans.
That'd be so gross. How many cans of SpaghettiOs would you need? Here's another thing that I like. When's the last time you tried to take a bath?
I know that I do not fit in a tub.
Exactly. I don't fit in that tub, and there's no way.
There's no, let me
Malachi-
get down in there and see if I fit in the tub. No, I know I do not fit in that tub.
I don't think Malachi fits in the tub either. He just covered himself up with his letters. I got a message here. DVDs. Could you cover yourself with your DVD collection?
I 1000% could cover myself and someone else with my DVD collection.
You should do that.
If you're not allergic to dust, come on over.
And just put like the one that you've watched the most on top. For me, it would be like Fever Pitch.
All right, Tommy boy, you're on top.
Yeah, exactly. Just featured prominently.
I watched The Waterboy over the weekend. Still slaps.
Nice. Put that right up. Just put all the Sandler movies on top. Greg and Lincoln tweets in Amigos Ranch dressing. No. Don't do that.
Specifically from Amigos, huh?
You people do have a thing about Amigos Ranch. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing.
My wife is a big ranch dressing connoisseur, but she does not like Amigos, so I don't know about their ranch.
I bet she would like Amigos Ranch.
Okay.
She's a ranch connoisseur.
Could that turn her? Because I like Amigos, and I'm not allowed to eat there with them.
I'd give it a shot. Use the ranch as your way in.
Okay.
I got a sell for you here.
Josh Hodson here for Amigos. Nice ring to it.
Hey, interesting. If Amigos is listening, if there is one of the Amigos listening. Texture says, pretty sure Happer still has to take an applesauce bath. Oh, yeah. That became one of the standard bets at some point. Like, if you lose, you have to pay off with an applesauce. You have to go and swim in a pool of applesauce. I'm not even sure what I put my name to on that. But I don't have enough applesauce to put in my bathtub and fill it up, so that's out of the question on this one. Greg and Lincoln also says that he could cover himself in bills, like bills that he's gotten from the mail. Just put your bills online.
But they still send you something.
No, they don't. You can opt out. You could say, no, don't send me stuff anymore.
Good. I don't want stuff.
All right. So Josh is going to go in his tub tonight, and he's going to put some DVDs, drape some DVDs over the top of them, and he's going to act like he's making a phone call and do the peace sign. And I'm going to do that with hats.
Our wives have no idea what they signed up for this evening, do they?
I don't think I'm actually going to do this, but it would be kind of funny if
one of us has to do it. And then we share the picture with each other via text and be like, okay, can we share this? Is this going to blow back on us negatively?
It definitely would. Yeah.
No.
You can't tweet anything now. Zach from the Equitable Bank inbox, you need to do the bathtub filled with chicken nuggets to commemorate the chicken nugget challenge.
That's a lofty investment.
Drenched in my sadness
It'd be
from failing the chicken nugget challenge.
I mean, isn't that what a bath is in general? Just you drenched in your sadness.
You just sit there in a pool of it. So yeah. Basically.
Oh, Fitz is talking.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
What's he talking about?
Nothing compares to this. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
He loves Ireland.
He loves Ireland.
He's a big Ireland guy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Illinois' AD is talking today.
Yes, he is.
He says the following. Josh Whitman, Illinois' athletic director, says that
No
he doesn't
relation.
He doesn't anticipate the new media rights deal affecting the current Big Ten Conference's attitude of playing a small amount of Friday night games. Translation, the Big Ten will still likely play Friday night conference games on BTN and FS1. There has been some pushback, I know, from Big Ten schools, when met with the thought from the networks of, hey, we think there's some inventory, there's some money to be made here on Friday night in terms of viewership, and the Big Ten's attitude on it has always been, can we not? Is there another night we could do? And I think we've met the compromise at this point, which is, a few of them a year. Nebraska is going to be participating in one at Rutgers, of course, this year, but they've been super against. I mean, in a place like this, and a lot of places in the Midwest, they have been very against playing Friday night home games because Friday night is for high school football, for a variety of other reasons. Nebraska's made that, I think, clear over the years. So what does the Big Ten and what does Fox ultimately decide to do with that? Are there more games on Black Friday? Feels like that's coming down. Will there be more games on, Sean Callahan points out, maybe Labor Day?
Yeah, that's a holiday ripe for more college football. I mean,
I always lose those games. Like Florida State plays on Labor Day.
Yeah, it used to be Florida State Miami. When they did that was
I always find
noteworthy.
I never I'm over it by that time.
You're over the football weekend?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna have this Monday to not watch football.
Okay.
But that's probably just me, because anytime I've ever talked to anybody else about that, they're like, oh, what, football? More football? Yes, I love more football. I'm telling you guys, that's not always the best thing. When there's football every single night of the week, you do get sick of it after a while. Maybe that's just me.
Now let me give you this Labor Day schedule. Sunday of Labor Day weekend, Florida State LSU at the Superdome.
Yeah. But isn't that week one of the NFL?
No, this is before week one.
Oh, okay.
NFL doesn't start till the 8th, I believe. And Monday, Clemson,
that's right, yeah.
Georgia Tech at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta.
It doesn't really do much for me.
That Monday game doesn't. Georgia Tech's too weak of an opponent.
Yeah.
You could have put a lot of mediocre ACC teams in that game, and I understand the Georgia connection, but it didn't have to be Georgia Tech.
Doesn't do a whole lot for me, no. All right. What are your thoughts on that, or anything else we've discussed, or what you would bathe yourself in? 402-951-1620. That's right. Happy game week, everyone. We'll have Mike Sautter coming up here in just a couple minutes. We got to talk about Bellevue West and Prep on Friday night, and then what is to come this week with a whole bunch of big games in week one, full week one of the high school slate. That's on tap with Mike Sautter coming up here in just a couple minutes on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Before you know it, Husker football season is going to be here, and you want to be in Memorial Stadium or following the Big Red on the road. And while you look for tickets, look no further than ticketsforless.com, formerly Ticket Express. They are your home for the best selection of Husker tickets inside of Memorial Stadium. And the best part, you'll never pay those outrageous fees like you do at other sites. Just compare. And you want to follow the Big Red on the road? Tickets for Less has you covered there, too. Find the best seats at the best prices to all your favorite Nebraska events, all in one convenient location. Ticketsforless.com. That's ticketsforless.com. Get in the stadium.
College football is back, and FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. All you have to do is place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets, win or lose. You can bet college football any way you'd like it, and there's plenty of different ways to bet each individual game. Take the overs, take the unders. There's same game parlays, or you can go bigger than that. There's big promotions like odds boost. Go for it all with national championship futures. You can find it all at the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. They're always hooking you up with great odds. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today and sign up with promo code Happer and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. That's promo code Happer, Happer. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear, shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
It is Big Red Friday, August 26th at McDonald's. You'll score a limited edition Husker flag for just $5. You're looking for a good cause? The proceeds benefiting your local Ronald McDonald House. That's a good deal. Those families, they go through enough. We want to take the burden off of those families by supporting the Ronald McDonald House. Should a Husker fan like you need a flag? Absolutely. Stop on out. It's Big Red Friday, August 26th at your local McDonald's.
Moments like watching my grandson steal second mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, just as I predicted, just as I thought, look, and I was specifically talking about Labor Day. Like we have it, but it's good to get a little taste of it first, and then we go. It's 3 or 4 days in a row, and you're like, all right. At the end of this, what do these games actually mean? I guess that I'm the only. I know I'm going to get the same thing back from Sautter that all you guys are saying on Twitter or on, somebody called in. They're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But there's high school football on Friday night. There's college football on Saturday all day. There's all day the NFL on Sunday. And Monday night, there's the one Monday night football game. It's fine. It's part of our calendar. I don't need it any more days than that. I really don't. By the end of it, I'm like, all right, I need a nice breather, a refresh here. And people are like, what? If there was football on Tuesday, you'd watch it. Of course I would watch it. It doesn't mean I don't I'm not a little bit fatigued by it.
Look, halfway through the second quarter of Clemson, Georgia Tech, you're going to go, oh, this was a mistake. I can go to bed.
Right. That's all. Football's good. Football's still good. Me and football, we're still cool with each other. Mike Sautter joins us now. Hello, Mike.
Hi. Interesting take. I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but mine and yours and everybody's New York Jets are on ESPN tonight, preseason game against the woeful Atlanta Falcons. So,
couple 1-0 teams cutting it up.
Not my New York Jets.
It's everybody's New York Jets.
Are we supposed to all like the Jets? Are the Jets America's team?
Not?
They're famously America's team, yes.
Yeah, America's team.
Yeah. See, this is right in the alley of like, I could probably not and be okay with it.
Whoa. Hey, I need to see what 37-year-old Joe Flacco and his 38, 39-year-old now starting left tackle look like. So hopefully they both play tonight.
Hey, were you excited by the tweet the other day that was like Joe Flacco was really, really good at practice?
Yeah, I get any sort of Jets information. I kind of get excited about a little bit. It's the one team I'm a fan of. We've gone over it. There's one team that I just dive right in all about. All of that stuff. Yell at the television about. I'll probably yell at the TV during the preseason game tonight, actually.
Exciting. Yelling is back. Yeah. Yelling at the TV is back.
Yeah. Football season is here, I guess.
Mike Sautter was at the high school game along with everybody else on Friday night. It was, how many people do you think were there? It was like both sides were full. All the media were out too. It was we were rocking and rolling on Friday night.
Yeah, a little over 5,000 people were at that game, I think.
Yeah.
But for those of you that don't like, talking about high school sports in Nebraska, there were let me repeat that, over 5,000 people there on Friday night.
Yeah, I think it probably means something, right? When 5,000 people go to a high school football game.
Yeah, seems aggressive, but that's fine. I'm here for it.
Were you surprised at the result or how it sort of played out with Prep and Bellevue West?
A little bit. I guess I wasn't surprised that. No, I thought, honestly, going into the game, I thought Prep was probably a little bit better team, just up front for sure. I definitely thought that. I think everyone thought that. So, but. Bellevue West just found a way, and they did have.
They didn't get pushed around either. So, not at all.
No, which is kind of glaring for the future, right? That bodes really, really well for the rest of the year for them. I just think they're probably a little tougher, little mentally tougher, maybe than they were last year. I just do. There's they're definitely fat. Like, this is like the wildest thing to say ever. They're definitely faster on the outside, and at the receiver position. Obviously, you had 2 tight ends, last year, but I think they got a little more speed there. The running back position is the concern. Gwinner, who was going to be their starting running back, he got hurt on the first series of the game, and he's done for the year. He broke his collarbone, so which kind of stinks because he's had injuries the last couple of years, and that's not good. So looks like Gio Contreras is going to be that guy. They used him at wide receiver a lot, and that was going to be kind of the plan, is to have him sort of spell at running back. But he's been injured some in his high school career, came back after last year injury. So he'll have to be that guy. So not quite the straight line speed of Gwinner, but pretty good. And I will say this. How about Danny Kaline?
That was my next question.
Listen, that kid has taken way too much undue criticism, if you will, in his short high school career. And he absolutely lived up to the hype last night in his first ever varsity start, or on Friday in his first ever varsity start. So absolutely did.
Yeah,
it was great.
I found myself thinking at times, it's like, yeah, this is a little bit up and down. It was definitely a slow start for him. But then he got comfortable. I think at one point he completed 12 passes in a row, maybe even more than that. And I caught myself sort of thinking like, man, he's got to be more consistent for, how we talk about him. But then I thought, wait a minute, it's actually his first start, and he's allowed to to sort of make mistakes right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, he finished the game 23 of 34 for 274 and 4 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah, not bad.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good that game. So I thought he was really good. Now, here's the thing with this game is like neither one. That game isn't like, Prep lost, they have no shot at winning the state title. No, like they're both very much so still in the conversation. And if you catch a pooch kickoff, maybe the game is totally different. Yep. Or if there isn't a scramble punt that just so happens to get off and it goes 40 yards, that the odds of those things happening aren't very good. So things could totally change. And I honestly kind of knew that Marty Brown was really, really good, and I think he proved that again. And it was entertaining game. I won't say it was a great game. It had a good ending to it, all of that, but it was kind of fun to see everyone there, and it was a very physical game.
Yeah, it was.
Just being on the field, it was super physical. Like there's some dudes that needed cold tubs, and obviously there was injuries that happened for both teams.
Yeah, there's probably about 6 or 7 cramps.
Yeah. It wasn't like over, it wasn't like too much where it just felt like, oh my gosh.
It started to drag a little bit though.
A little bit, yeah. But it wasn't quite as bad as Thursday night at Lewis Central when I was over there. So
yeah, it's hotter. Do you think Isaiah McMorris likes playing in this offense?
Yeah, probably, yeah. He had 7 catches? Yeah, 7.
7 for 125.
Yeah, 7 for 125 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to need him kind of both ways too, right? Like he's going to have to play some defensive back and all that. So there's a reason why he went over there and transferred, and it was a football reason, and it seems to be working out for him so far, I guess, at this point. So definitely I'll say he's pretty happy. I would assume he's pretty happy.
Obviously we got Prep Westside this week, and we'll look forward to this week in a second. Let's focus on Prep then for a second though. Do you think the picture becomes a little clearer at quarterback for them heading into this game?
Man, you know, they got it. They got to get guys that can get open though. Dean Thompson's a good quarterback, and he had 10 attempts, which is probably honestly like 15 or less is probably their number.
Yeah. They got to be on track for sure.
Yeah, they want to run the ball, and 15 or less is probably the number. But I mean, they got to get guys that can catch the ball and get open. They just do. Or you got to get a little tricky with maybe put Marty Brown, like spread him out a little bit and let him catch the ball. I don't know. But you know, I guess I didn't want to like give it away at all. But in the couple maybe radio interviews and different things I talked about, I talked about Ezra Vedral.
Yep, I remember you mentioned him. Yep.
Yeah, like gonna come. I couldn't because it would just be wrong of me to do it. But I couldn't say, hey, Ezra Vedral running the option is going to be a major problem for people. That's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't because they asked me to kind of keep that under wraps a little bit.
That's fair.
When I went to practice, I mean, it worked like a charm, and then it obviously worked on Friday night. I think they're just going to probably split it a little bit. You got to be a little more balanced, though. I think, but I've said it for a couple years now. I mean, Prep's offensive line is their strength, and you lean on it, and then you got a guy like Marty Brown, and you just give him the rock, and you try and just stay ahead of the chains, right? And you just run it. But the drive coming out of halftime, there was a 6.5 minute drive, was so impressive. Like, you're down 21-7, you need a score. You know that like the passing game isn't probably going to work that great. What do? We're going to pound the rock and all the way down the field and take 6 minutes, and we're going to score and we're going to get back in the game. That took some guts a little bit, I think. I mean, Ezra had 12 attempts for 109 yards. I mean, it's the long of 19. He's a really good athlete, man, and he also played some linebacker for him too. I think maybe using Egan a little bit as a fullback, kind of in that vein, will certainly pop and help as long as it's the right time. But Prep's going to run the ball. That's what they're going to do, and you know, frankly, like if they have a little bit of passing game to go with it, they'll be just fine. They will be just fine.
Hey, is Charmar Brown one of the more physically imposing skill guys that we've seen in a while? He is huge.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw him was it was 2 springs ago. So not this past spring, but obviously the one before that, before his junior year. It was, I think it was like May or something. There was a combine. Warren Academy had a combine thing. And I was like, who is this guy? like he's just, you know, chiseled, like just dudes in the weight room, all that stuff. And I still have the photo of him. And it's just, he is such a physically impressive, like imposing guy. North Dakota State, if he ends up staying there, committed there, they stole that guy.
Yeah,
like he is going to be.
He's going to run for a lot of yards for them. Yeah,
yeah. like if he ends up, you know, I mean, obviously football is different. Kids can flip, but he's committed there. It's, you know, he went to the Lindenwood Mega Camp. He got a bunch of offers off of that, like Miami of Ohio's and stuff like that. So he did, you know, he had some group of 5 stuff. You know, I think everyone knows that North Dakota State's a pretty dang good program, and FCS or not, doesn't matter. You know, but if they can keep him committed, then yeah, it's a pretty good get. I think he's going to have a really nice career up there.
Sautter, a lot of options outside of Prep Westside this week. I mean, there's even a pretty good game on Thursday night with Gretna and Burke, but you have Bellevue West and North, you have Millard West, Millard South. What you have Elkhorn South and Lincoln Southeast. What out of that catches your eye, and where might you grab? I guess where might be the most competitive game that we find this Thursday, Friday?
Oh, there is a ton of options. Thursday night, even like Kearney, Lincoln East. What does Lincoln East look like?
Oh yeah,
is a thing. The two new OPS schools play each other on Thursday night at Omaha South.
Yep.
So that's kind of a little intriguing there, just because let's see, two new uniforms and helmets and all that stuff. But Millard West, Millard South is a huge one. There'll be a ton of people at that game. There always is. That'll be packed. Elkhorn goes to Waverly, and then Grand Island Northwest goes to Aurora. And in C1, Lakeview, the champions last year, go to Ashland Greenwood to open their season. And then in Northeast Nebraska, a big one is Norfolk Catholic and Oakland Craig play each other. So I think Millard South, Millard West is the interesting one because there's going to be a ton of people there. Student section is loud. It's a big rivalry game. Also, you have the coaching kind of changes. You have, Millard South, brand new first-year head coach Ty Wisdom. His offense, what does that look like? It's going to be spread out a lot more. They're going to look totally different. And then Millard South, old offensive coordinator, Trevor Long, who's one of the best assistant coaches in the state, he is now at Millard West. So a little bit of that, and he knows that personnel. Obviously, it's going to look a little different. So I think that's it. And then how physical is North and Bellevue West going to be?
Yep.
Can North just lean on Bellevue West and try that again? Are they going to be able to throw it at all? North has a new quarterback. I'm pretty sure it's Sebastian Serco, but I guess I haven't been told for sure if he won the starting job. I know it's been a competition, but I'm pretty positive he won that job.
He's a freshman, right?
So what was that?
He's a freshman, right?
No, sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay.
And he has, he really can throw the ball. He's really good. So he's just, not the biggest guy, but he's also physically matured. There's just some questions with North. Like, Keshawn Porter comes back, he can run the crap out of the ball. They're big up front, specifically on the defensive line up front. But they lost Meisenberg, who was their defensive coordinator for the last 20 years. So he's now at Westview. So, what does that look like? And going against Bellevue West, and how healthy is Bellevue West coming off of Friday night? Because I know Aiden Morris was a starting defensive lineman for them, or defensive end. I think he hurt his hand or thumb. There's, he had big ice pack on it. All those things. Bellevue West got pretty banged up. So, and now they play another physical game, and then obviously, Prep Westside is rivalry game and all of that goes into it, and there'll be another huge crowd for that game. And what does Westside look like with Paul Lamangi and his? That's kind of odd, right? So his first game at Westside,
at Burke,
coaching at Omaha Burke.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a little bit, it's just, he knows obviously the facilities pretty well there. So, but he's on the other sideline.
Yeah, he's got to go to the visitors' locker room.
Yeah, but actually, what's weird is Prep is generally their sideline is on the west, which generally, like if it's a Burke home game, their sideline is on the east, so it'll be the same sideline that he's walked forever.
Yeah,
so they'll know that. But
hilarious.
Yeah. So it's a little nuggets, I guess there. So kind of fun.
No doubt about it. We're fully back in the swing. You have a game of the week this week, or is voting complete, or where are we at on that?
The voting is not complete. The voting is likely going to be either, well, as of last night, it was either, I can look real quick. It's either going to be West Side at Creighton Prep or Scut at Bennington.
Okay.
So unless, Bellevue West North or Scottsbluff at Pius makes a very strong comeback. But, the game of the week voting is until Wednesday at noon.
Well, I hope it's
I
hope it's Bennington, just so you can try some new popcorn.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, can do that. I guess maybe I'll just do that on Thursday night if where I'm at.
Josh is taking an interest in your popcorn tasting your bit here. Josh is a popcorn connoisseur himself.
I like popcorn. I enjoy popcorn. In my opinion, the best. There's two places that have the best popcorn in the metro. Omaha South is clearly number one, and Papillion and La Vista Monarch have really good popcorn as well.
What about it does it for you?
It has to be the right person making it, because I've been to South, and if the wrong person's making it, then that's a problem. But it has just the right amount of salt. It's also like warm. It hasn't been just sitting in a bag that they popped like 3 hours earlier. There's a right amount of butter, right amount of salt. I like a little bit of both. I'm not, if you do the microwave popcorn thing like that everyone has, it has to be like movie theater butter. I like a lot of butter on popcorn.
Great takes all around. I have no notes.
Okay.
We look forward to Mike Sauter's popcorn reviews periodically throughout the fall and winter. Hey, Sautter, appreciate it. Enjoy your sandwich, and we'll talk to you later.
Sandwich is gone. Working on the barbecue chips for lunch. By the way, say hello to Cale Jacobson, your starting point guard at Nebraska basketball looks like.
Hey, whoa. Well, what are we talking about here?
No, they got a guy hurt, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was going to be the starter. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Sam Griesel.
All right. I'm just saying, Cale Jacobson is going to play.
He might be in line for some playing time now. Yeah.
As a walk-on.
It's a good point there. I didn't even think about what was next, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I love Cale. I think he's a stud. I think he's amazing, but you know what I mean.
I got you.
Okay.
I know what you're saying. All right, Sautter, see you.
All right, bye.
Mike Sautter, NEBPreps.com. Yeah, I think what he's getting at is it's a little thin there. Yeah. Catch the drift there. We'll come back with Josh's top 5 best of the weekend next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
When you have the tin of popcorn and it has the 4, the cheese, the white, the caramel.
Oh, you're bougie. You went
and then
4. Usually it's 3.
Or is it 3? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's always one that's
That you're-
about 75% gone before any of the others are touched. Which one is it?
Caramel.
Cheese. Mine's caramel. Oh, no.
All 3 are garbage.
Whoa!
Not a-
Popcorn
Not a-
snob.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. Host Coffee is hiring a service technician. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
You want to go to a professional sporting event, you want to go to a college sporting event, you want to go to a play, you want to go to a concert. Go where I go, ticketsforless.com. When I'm looking to find the best seats to the show or the big game, I go to ticketsforless.com, formerly Ticket Express. Same great customer service, and most importantly, with ticketsforless.com, no outrageous ticket fees when you get ready to check out. The ticket price you see is always the price you pay. Unlike the other guys, they don't tack on a per-ticket service fee at checkout. It's ticketsforless.com. Get yourself in the game today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. It has been a great summer, but a new school year. The fall, crisp, cool weather will be upon us before you know it, and it is time for you to transition into crisp, clear vision. Who can help you do that? Of course, the fine folks at Kugler Vision, voted Best of Omaha, #1 LASIK provider in Omaha Magazine. They changed my life in 2018. They can change your life today. Visit their website, schedule a consultation, kuglervision.com.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Still plenty to get to in the 1 o'clock hour, including some more from the press conference yesterday. Dumb stats. Excited for some dumb stats. And then a little making fun of, as I take every opportunity I can, making fun of St. Louis Cardinals and their fans.
Oh, yeah, those people.
The whereabouts of their longtime catcher this weekend, who was just randomly on the restricted list. Why? We'll find out. The 1 o'clock hour. Josh's top 5.
Okay. Yeah, top 5 winners of the weekend. Busy weekend in sports. We'll tell you who had the best weekend. No St. Louis Cardinals representation. I know you thought it would be a possibility.
No.
With Albert Pujols hitting 2 home runs again in a game. Kind of weird what's happening.
He's hot right now.
Yeah. He's Hansel.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Alexander Usyk. Alexander, yes.
Who is this?
This is the Ukrainian boxer. He is heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh, he's the guy who beat
Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
He now has 3 of the 4 recognized heavyweight championships. The one eluding him is currently held by on-again, off-again retiree Tyson Fury. Now you ask, will Usyk get the chance to be the first undisputed heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era? I'm a guy who still thinks that heavyweight champion of the world is a neat title to have.
It's a little old school because it's just not recognized the same anymore. But yes, it would be really cool to see it again, for sure.
Also, hey, go Ukraine.
Number 4.
Ukraine needed a win.
Yeah. Number 4, Connor, you're going to love this. The Sugarland Space Cowboys.
Nice. I have a hat. I could bathe in it tonight.
Tied 4-4 entering the 6th inning of a doubleheader against the Oklahoma City Dodgers. So it's a 7-inning game, minor league doubleheader, 7 innings. SLSC hung 17 runs in an inning. En route to a 21-4 victory.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with the fact that they won here. They may have won the game, but 6 is enough. Everybody actually lost by the fact that this game got drug out that much.
Sugarland sent 23 batters to the plate that inning, notching 9 walks and 10 hits.
If this happened, and it's almost happened in Omaha a couple times this year, I would be beside myself.
Just that close to the end of a doubleheader. It's a long day for everyone involved.
There's been some 10-run innings that I've witnessed this year, and they just go and go and go.
The inning lasted 58 minutes and took 108 pitches to complete.
Oh, no.
Not on board with this.
And that's just the half inning? Like their half of the inning?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful.
No, you're not on board with this?
That sounds horrendous. No, everybody, this is a horrible addition to the top 5.
Does feel a little excessive
everybody's
at some point.
Everybody's a loser here.
They won, and they won big.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
I am really glad that at the 11th hour, I included this in Friday's What to Watch. I almost just passed over it because the odds of anything interesting happening were very slim. But the third biggest winner of the weekend is Leon Edwards. The plus 300 underdog shocked the world by knocking out the sport's #1 pound-for-pound best in the final minute of Saturday's main event of UFC 2,000,007. I don't know.
With a swift kick to the face.
Yes. The Brit nicknamed Rocky now claims the welterweight title and one of the biggest upsets in the history of UFC.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get kicked in the face.
And sometimes Dana White goes on an alternate broadcast and tells you that Tom Brady could have been a Raider.
That was funny. I liked how that came out.
Are we buying that?
I think we are. Yes. Yes.
It's just believable enough for me to go, you know what? There's something there.
Yeah.
But also I look at Dana White and I go, liar.
I also will watch every single time the Joe Rogan reaction to when somebody gets knocked out, when he just holds all the people back beside him.
He knows it's a meme. He knows it'll go viral. He knows, like, he gets it. He plays the character.
Yeah, I'll watch that every time.
Yeah,
I always think it's like it's just the one from 10 years ago, but no, it's a different one every time.
Everything else on this list is local, FYI.
Good.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
This one was brought to my attention on the Twitter sphere. Union Omaha. It was good enough to end up #1 on SportsCenter's top 10 Saturday night, Sunday morning, depending on when you were watching. In the opening minute of Saturday's match against NCFC, North Carolina Football Club, Union Omaha backup goalkeeper, whose name I will not butcher on the radio, drop kicked the ball from his own goalie box
area
place. I'm not a soccer guy. And it went into the opposing goal. The goalkeeper now owns the record for
amazing
quickest goal in franchise history.
This is what you dream of when you go to a soccer match.
He is also
on the pitch.
The only goalkeeper to score in the 3, now I think we're in our 4th season of USL League One history. Union Omaha's backup goalkeeper.
Amazing.
Knocked one in.
You never know what you're going to see when you go out to the ballpark.
You love seeing it in hockey. It translates quite well to football.
You head out to the park. Maybe you think, I bet the Storm Chasers are playing today. There's some baseball. No, there's a soccer game. What happens at the soccer game? Like the goalie scores.
Also, shout out to whoever runs the Union Omaha Twitter account, because at the end of this game, like, they posted the graphic final score 4-1. Congratulations, we just beat North Carolina Football Club. They said something to the effect of, glad we were dressed in black because we just buried a body.
My God.
Just uber aggressive.
Strong.
From the team Twitter account, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Which leads us to the biggest winner of the weekend. Who could it possibly be? I told you it was local. Maybe it's me.
Make it so, #1.
Maybe it's Connor.
It's Scott Frost.
#1.
The lady who flipped me off this morning?
Not technically the weekend. It's Bellevue West. Week 0 in the high school game. Saw the T-Birds knock off Creighton Prep.
Yep.
28-21.
Yep.
Connor has already apologized for being one of many in the media to doubt Bell West and their ability to return an
That
upper
damn
echelon
media.
team. You guys don't know nothing. You want me to believe your predictions? You don't know jack.
I'm getting really sick of the media predicting wrong all the time.
How dare you go out on that limb and say things into a microphone? I don't even know if you said it in a microphone, but we were talking about it at one point.
We had talked. I don't think that I made a prediction about the game on air.
Yeah, was it just you and Damon talking about the
Yeah,
game
it's just-
off air?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, sorry to spill the tea.
Yeah, you really outed me there. I could have
really
just not said that. Because, yeah, the Bellevue West was going to win the whole time. I told you. But no, we believe in transparency here on the Connor Happer Show. And yes, I did think Prep was going to win, and they did not.
Very much so.
And so, yes, I've already previously apologized. What more do you want me to do? I'll apologize for every time I'm wrong this year. The whole show will
No.
just be apologies.
Jimmy Fallon does the thank you notes. You can do the apologies. And
That's great.
It's just the same bit.
Honestly, I cannot wait to see how wrong I am about this Nebraska football season. It's going to be really fun.
There's so many possibilities, and that feels like something that isn't the case
Yeah.
each and every year.
You always have a way that you think it's going to go, and you sort of plan your thinking around that idea. And man, it just never goes that way, especially with Nebraska football. Can't wait to see in which ways I'll be wrong. It'll be fun. Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
That is the top 5. Come back for more 1 o'clock hour, the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you've played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Sautter, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building. You can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
As the end of summer draws near, the vacation season is just starting for customers at Greenberg's Jewelers. For a very limited time, when you make a purchase of $3,000 or more at Greenberg's, you'll get a $500 gift card to use for airfare to one of over 100 destinations in the U.S. and Mexico. If you were thinking about an engagement ring in the next few months, it's time to buy the ring now. Considering a gorgeous diamond pendant or anniversary ring? Get it now from Greenberg's and get free airfare. Imagine the look on her face when the engagement is topped off with a honeymoon or vacation to Cancun, Las Vegas, New York City, Los Angeles, or one of many other destinations. Greenberg's has the absolute latest styles in jewelry. Stackable rings, stunning solitaires, love story rings, dazzling pendants, and of course, hearts on fire diamonds are all at Greenberg's. And get a $500 airfare gift card from Greenberg's Jewelers with any purchase of $3,000 or more. But hurry, a deal like this won't last. Greenberg's Jewelers, West Roads Mall, a cut above the rest. Some restrictions apply.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
Where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, very important stuff here. This is from a very, very good Twitter account called at Board Geniuses, message board geniuses who just peruse the college football message boards and take screenshots of whatever each individual fan base seems to be talking about. Some theories that get spread around. I think it's really good for everybody. In anticipation for Nebraska Northwestern this week, which, by the way, you can check out our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook promo code Happer. Nebraska a 12.5-point favorite, over under at 50.5 right now. I saw that number moving elsewhere, but it's stayed pretty solid there on FanDuel for a couple weeks. We have a message board theory originating from the Wildcat Report board, which, yes, Josh, there is a whole community of people apparently talking about Northwestern football on the internet, even though there's not anybody who covers the team who is not below the, or who is above the age of 22.
Correct.
Here it is. I heard we're going a day later than Nebraska. Why would we put ourselves at a jet lag disadvantage?
Ooh.
So yes, among many other advantages that Nebraska has in this game, they are now also going to be at a jet lag advantage.
But
1 day further removed from the jet lag.
Fitz refused to name his starting quarterback in today's presser.
Add that to the list.
Playing it close to the vest.
Oh, you're using that as an advantage for Northwestern.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying it's a disadvantage for them because they don't have any good starting quarterbacks.
Okay. That might be why they're not naming one. I guess I hadn't exactly thought of it from that angle.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I just don't think they're very good. And I'll probably sound like a huge idiot if Nebraska loses the game. But we could all, yeah,
we're going to mark that.
Let's just say this. I feel comfortable in making this statement. If Nebraska loses the game, it will be because they themselves lost the game. It will not be because Northwestern beat them. And I know, competitors hate when people say that. It's like, hey, you got to beat the team across from you. Northwestern would certainly get a kick out of saying this if and when they win the game on Saturday. But I feel comfortable in that projection. If Nebraska is to lose, it will be because Nebraska has royally screwed something up. I feel good about that. So jet lag advantages, jet lag disadvantages, all of that included. Nebraska will be leaving today. Apparently they were going to leave directly out of Lincoln, and then the Lincoln airport couldn't put that, couldn't put that all together, whatever it is. So they had to bust the whole team up to Omaha. And then they'll leave from Omaha instead. Omaha, better airport, more destinations. Not usually the international flights originate from either of the cities, but here we are in a very, very special situation. By the way, Nebraska's equipment in Chicago at the end of last week, all going through customs, things like that. Scott Frost mentioned yesterday. So they have a couple of, they got all these things on different pallets and stuff. And a couple of the pallets had wooden bottoms instead of metal bottoms. So they couldn't ship that part of it out of Chicago. All part of taking a major college football program on the road.
Okay. Would have never thought of that. Okay.
Yep, that's just another thing. Let's take a phone call here from Jesse. Hey, Jesse, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Just want to comment on the jet lag thing. I served some time in the military. I've done that transatlantic flight a couple of times. One, you're correct. Nebraska is heavily favored, and none of that changes jet lag or not. The jet lag thing's overblown. It literally, you take a day. You get there. If you get there in the morning, you just take a day. You stay up until 7 at night. You go to bed. You wake up. You're fine. It doesn't matter. I would almost argue that the 45 to 1 hour bus ride from Lincoln to Omaha may have just as much of an effect on a team as a transatlantic flight and adjusting. It literally takes one day.
Jesse, let me throw this in there. Let me add this. We're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids.
Yeah, and that's even better.
Exactly.
I mean, if anything, it would affect the coaches more than it would affect the players. I'd be more worried about a coach getting there and goofing off and messing up and falling into a pub that he's not supposed to be in or something, more than I would a 22-year-old trained athlete adjusting to a 5-hour time difference.
I would agree. They're there in plenty of time. They'll be there on Tuesday morning Ireland time, and Northwestern will be there one day later, and then we'll roll on throughout the week. Still 3 more days to get everything figured out. Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, there you go. I've never done international travel before, but I do trust Jesse.
Sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
Sure, I trust Jesse all the way. I've long said that.
Poll question at Happer Show.
Do you trust Jesse?
Exactly.
Because it's huge. We're putting a lot on the theory. No, I totally agree. We got a lot of time. They're gonna use Tuesday as like a we're gonna stumble over this word. Acclimatization. Yes, we're gonna go with that.
They're gonna get acclimated.
Yeah, they're gonna get acclimated, and so they'll probably take it easy on Tuesday. They said they're good, and Frost said they're gonna go straight to the stadium and work out for a little bit, and then, not have much to do that day. Sleep really well Tuesday night, and then you're, in theory, back to normal on Wednesday. And Northwestern will just do that, except for one day later, so they'll have one more day of practice on home soil before they leave. Okay. College football season is back, which means college football game notes are back, which means really dumb and pointless stats are back. But somebody went through the work, and probably Keith Mann, Seamus McKnight, maybe they went through the work of finding these stats, or somebody else in the stat department went through the work of finding it. So we have to make them public. We have to tell you exactly what they say. So here are some very fun and important stats to know before Nebraska has a game in Ireland on Saturday. Nebraska is 14-1 in the month of August of all time.
Oh, love that. Love it.
They are, unfortunately, on a 1-game losing streak. They played last year in August 28th. But before that, we're on a 14-game winning streak.
New one starts Saturday. Let's go.
14-1 all time. The average score of those 14 games, 39-16, Nebraska. Nebraska is 7-1 in August when facing a current Power 5 conference opponent, with the average score of those games being 34-12. In the history of Nebraska football, Saturday's game will mark the earliest date of a conference game in Husker history. overall, the August 27th date is the third earliest date ever for Nebraska season opener. Would you like to know the earliest date ever for Nebraska season opener?
I would love that.
That would be August 24th, 2002 against Arizona State in the Black Coaches Association Kickoff Classic. Speaking of the word classic, Saturday's game is officially dubbed the Aer Lingus Classic, marking the first time Nebraska has opened a season by playing in a classic since the 2002 Black Coaches Association Classic. Any thoughts so far?
It sounds very early for a football game. I know it's only like three days difference. That's the takeaway I'm going with.
Saturday's game marks the earliest date of a conference game in Big Ten history. Including this year, there have only been 6 conference matchups in August in the history of the Big Ten, and Nebraska's played in 2 of them this year and last. Saturday's game also marks the second Big Ten conference game ever played on foreign soil. The other? 1993, when Wisconsin beat Michigan State 41-20 in the Coca-Cola Classic in Tokyo. The same game in which the previous year, Nebraska played Kansas State in 1992, and Tom Chattel was stumbling around Tokyo. Saturday will mark just the second time a Big Ten team has played in Europe. Penn State entered this season as the only Big Ten team to play in Europe.
UCF.
They beat UCF in 2014 in Dublin, Ireland. That game was not played at the stadium that Nebraska will play on Saturday. Aviva Stadium. It was played at Croke Park.
I mean, when you go to Dublin, everyone knows you got your choice of stadium. They got a lot of them. It's like the Omaha of Europe.
That's what I always say. And according to available research, Saturday's game will just be the 14th FBS conference game played on foreign soil in college football history. The Nebraska Northwestern contest will also mark the second FBS conference matchup ever played in Europe, along with the 2016 Aer Lingus Classic between Georgia Tech and Boston College. Folks, those are your dumb and pointless stats. Nebraska, by the way, looking for their 99th season opening win of all time. They currently hold a record of 98, 29, and 5. In neutral site games to open the season, Nebraska is, Josh, you ready for this?
Ready.
A perfect 4-0.
Hey, let's go!
I would say bet the farm.
5.
Their biggest win came as a 117-0 win against Kearney State in 1911 to open the season.
Famously.
And they won 29 season openers in a row from 1986 to 2014. But people forget they lost to BYU on a Hail Mary in 2015.
I want that box score from the Kearney game.
Yeah, might have to look into that one. 1911.
All right, 1911.
Those are your dumb and pointless stats that I kind of really enjoy. And they all, in my opinion, point to Nebraska winning. If nothing else, because of the stats. We'll come back more up next on 1620 The Zone. It's the 5K Ultimate Tailgate right here on 1620 The Zone. We want to help you throw an ultimate tailgate party with your chance to win $5,000. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
Shop Lanaha's Garden Center for the best selection of fall color and seasonal decor. Mums, pumpkins, unique gourds, and more. Think fall, think Lanaha Nurseries. 192nd and Center.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Fall means outdoor activities. Don't miss a moment this fall. Head over to their website today, kuglervision.com, and schedule a consultation. Low monthly payments are available, kuglervision.com.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
Are you a self-proclaimed introvert?
Oh, 100%.
You'll love Bite. You can align your teeth with confidence without ever having to leave your home.
No dentist visits?
Not when you order clear teeth aligners from Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Bite's at-home treatment plans are doctor-directed and start as low as $82 a month. Order your at-home impression kit for just $14.95. That's over 80% off. Just visit Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your clear aligner journey with Bite.
With our newest unlimited plan, everyone's welcome. Introducing Welcome Unlimited from Verizon for just $30 a line per month for 4 lines with autopay plus taxes and fees. Our best priced unlimited plan ever.
Did he say $30?
Yep, $30 a line for the whole family. The network you want, the price you love. Switch to Verizon today. Paper-free billing required. Unlimited 5G nationwide 4G LTE. In times of congestion, your data may be temporarily slower than other traffic. All smartphone lines on the account must be on Welcome Unlimited and are eligible only for select promotions. Includes domestic talk, text, and data usage only. Data roaming at 2G speeds.
Nebraska football has felt cursed these last couple decades.
A huge upset. 62 points.
Nebraska will have to look elsewhere for the man to replace Frank Solich.
But you can help to break the curse. August 25th at Haymarket Park with KLIN and 1620 The Zone. All ages are invited to this free event that will feature food, drinks, music from the Killigans, and of course, curse breaking. Join us Thursday as we break the curse.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Chris in Montana on the text line says jet lag is way worse in the morning because that would be the middle of the night since they're playing the game at like 6 and it's like 11 our time, so it won't be as bad. A lot of people chiming in on jet lag today.
That's too much math for me.
I tend to agree. They're fine. They're 20 years old. You could have asked me to play a football game at 3 o'clock in the morning. It would have been just fine. Seriously. Now, I wouldn't have been very good because I wasn't a very good football player. But it would have worked out just fine. Best thing I saw in baseball. Question before we go here. I don't think there's no audio component to this today. I don't think I probably led you astray there, Josh. Why do the Mets keep coming up on here so much? I feel like we talk about the Mets and the best thing I saw in baseball a lot.
I feel like you're needling me.
It's I'm sort of in on the Mets, but it's for no I don't like the Mets. I'm okay with the Mets. People forget that the Royals beat the Mets in the 2015 World Series.
Mm-hmm. People forget that the Braves beat the Mets 3 times last week.
People remember that one a little bit more, I think.
I forget that the Mets beat the Braves 4 times 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Things are evening out a bit. But it has a local flair to it as well. And this is where we bring up Nebraska product Nate Fisher, who was called up to the major leagues over the weekend. Got a couple innings in as well. 3 scoreless innings. The Mets beat the Philadelphia Phillies 10-9 on Sunday afternoon, and Nate Fisher got in the ball game. 1 year ago, Nate Fisher, after being, actually, let's take you back even further. Out of Nebraska, where he was a senior in 2019, Darren Erstad's last year, Nate was undrafted in baseball, which is sort of difficult, especially if you want to get to the major league level. Found his way, got all the, worked his way up through the Seattle Mariners organization, and then COVID happened. Went back to the Mariners, got all the way to AAA. Excuse me, let's go back. So COVID hit, and then he went back to Omaha to First National Bank.
Yeah, because there's no minor league season.
Right. Went back, got a crack back with the Mariners, and then was signed by the New York Mets going into this year. Worked a lot at AA. Got the call straight to the bigs and pitched 3 scoreless innings. How about that?
Bravo. Would have really helped me out if he had not, as a Braves fan. Looking up at the Mets.
Come on, man.
Braves did their part. Won a series against the Astros this weekend.
JD tweets in, Iowa JD, is 3 a.m. the new big noon kickoff per Connor Happer? Okay, hold on. What did the text say? Jet lag is worse in the morning because it'd be right in the middle of the night. Since they're playing the game at 6, it's like 11 our time, so it won't be as bad. It's that
you said something like, I would have played a game at 3 a.m. if they would have let me.
Oh, that. Sure. I think, there's a lot of things that could come out of the new Big Ten contract.
Not a lot of competition at that 3 a.m. time slot. You could get a big number.
Look, we're trying to play games on all days of the week. This is the way you can get ahead.
I would love to see one game after the traditional Pac-12 after dark window.
Yeah.
That ends at like 1:30.
Yep.
Let's start a game at 2.
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Or
it can end with the sunrise over the Rose Bowl.
Okay, now I'm semi-serious here. What if there was a game on Sunday morning before the NFL games start? A college game.
Okay.
It'll be called the Set Your Fantasy Lineup game. Because people watch the game in the background while they're setting their fantasy lineup.
The Kegs and Eggs Kickoff Classic.
About 8 o'clock. Maybe you play it maybe you play it in London. Who knows? No, this sounds a little too complicated. This is a horrible idea.
The guy who
scrap this entire thing.
The guy who 90 minutes ago was saying there's too much football.
There is
now campaigning for a college football game to kick off at 8 a.m.
There's not too much football broadly in general. But I will admit, and I think other people would too if they weren't so I have to tweet about it and I have to go on social media and talk about how much it's the same thing with the whole puke thing. Why did that go so viral? I'm still mad about this.
Because a Power 5 football coach essentially said, I am running my players into the ground.
No, that's not what he, come on. That's not what he meant. And everybody that was tweeting about it knew it.
I think everyone locally knew. I think I would imagine some people in the national were like, yeah, I don't ever take stock in Nebraska football anymore.
But
yeah, okay, he might have been dead serious. He sounded dead serious.
Now it's the really cool thing to say, I love football. We have to have football all the time at all hours of the day. I'm telling you guys, so I'm the only person in the world that this happens to. I don't get you get a little fatigued by the end of the weekend. Just like that thought doesn't creep into your head at all. I am literally the only person on planet Earth who that happens to.
If there's not close games,
you guys are all lying to yourselves.
By the end of Sunday, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can watch a movie with my wife or something.
Yeah.
If you give me blowout after blowout after blowout
Take
after
a walk.
blowout. Mm-hmm.
Go outside. Greg and Lincoln says, my goodness, is Connor Happer morphing into Sipple?
I mean,
maybe
you did a damn good job Friday.
Maybe. All right. We'll come back. We still have plenty of things to get to, including me talking badly about the St. Louis Cardinals, which is something I always enjoy. The S&P Plus projection. The final S&P Plus projection of the offseason has come out. Nebraska slipped a little bit. Why? We'll find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And this is, again, conditional, but if Nebraska's on a roll, then all of a sudden this game moves way up. Purdue, I think, is a legitimate division contender, even though not a lot of people are picking them. But the history, too. Jeff Brom has kind of had Scott Frost's number. I get it. There's still this mental block about it. Oh, it's only Purdue. Well, it's not only Purdue. Purdue has been really good against Nebraska.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze, highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Dingman's Collision Center. We would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
It is Big Red Friday, August 26th at McDonald's. You'll score a limited edition Husker flag for just $5. You're looking for a good cause? The proceeds benefiting your local Ronald McDonald House. That's a good deal. Those families, they go through enough. We want to take the burden off of those families by supporting the Ronald McDonald House. Should a Husker fan like you need a flag? Absolutely. Stop on out. It's Big Red Friday, August 26th at your local McDonald's.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
Fantasy football isn't just a game. It's a way of life. And with the NFL Fantasy app, your life just got way better. Get all the touchdowns, fantasy points, and bragging rights all in one place. It's free and easy to play. Just sign up and draft. Optimize your lineup with one click and watch exclusive player stories. From the stars you know to sleepers who can win you your league. NFL Fantasy. We live for this. Download the NFL Fantasy app today.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
A comical set of events has led to the Royals leading the Chicago White Sox 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning with nobody out. And the bases still loaded.
White Sox on their second pitcher.
Yep.
The starting pitcher for the Chicago White Sox recorded 0 outs.
That was Michael Kopech, by the way. Salvador Perez was really trying as hard as he possibly could to not score several times in this inning already while originating on, first base. And ultimately, the White Sox just decided, you know what, you can just go for free. You just walk in. So they walked him in. We appreciate the Chicago White Sox once again. Extend Tony La Russa. Bill Connolly's S&P Plus has been updated for the final time prior to the season. He made some tweaks to the formula itself, where he, according to him, relying a little bit more on some raw numbers, some actual sort of final scores, that hadn't necessarily. He had a whole Twitter thread about it the other day. He says last year he has a formula for the FCS S&P Plus, and they performed really, really well. And he sort of had to think about the FBS S&P Plus as well. He says, despite FCS S&P Plus relying on points scored and allowed with each passing week, I started wondering if S&P Plus strength has always been in preseason projections and opponent adjustments, not actual predictive stats. Well, there's a whole bunch. Hey, did we get another hit? Let's go. 4-0.
Bro Hearn got you another one.
I've always been Ryan O'Hearn enjoyer. Many people have said this.
4-0 Royals, bottom one, nobody out.
So the projection and the formula gets tweaked a little bit. And because of this, once again, it relies a little bit more now on actual results of games. You want to guess what happens in Nebraska? They fell. They fell a little bit. They fall down to 44th in the final SP Plus projection. The 53rd ranked offense and the 33rd ranked defense. Projected wins number has come down to 6.9. 6.9. Don't say it. Now you can say it. Nice. 6.9. And projected conference wins at 4.9. Teams ranked ahead of them from the Big Ten West. I mean, Nebraska was the second Big Ten West team on here as of the most recent projection. They were in the low 30s, I believe. That's somewhere around 31, 33. They're all the way down to 44. And Purdue is now ahead of them. Minnesota is now ahead of them. Iowa is now ahead of them. And, of course, Wisconsin is now ahead of them. And in fact, there's actually a pretty decent gap between, Purdue's at 34 and Nebraska's at 44. So basically, it just gives you an example. Like, does this matter? No, the season's about to start in 5 days. Like, come on, it's a projection that doesn't matter. But it is by way of saying this: those five at the top of the division are largely indistinguishable. I think Nebraska's in the category because of a lot of different reasons, including their schedule sort of working out for them this year. They're disadvantaged for other reasons. Hey, look, there's your double play.
The debut of Drew Waters is an inning-ending double play.
That's the same debut as Vinny Pasquantino had.
Royals get 9 up to the dish in the first.
4.
Leave them loaded.
Like I said, the way that you could, any situation where you could just maximize the pain, it's going to find a way to be maximized. The projection is another way of saying this. Nebraska, Purdue, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin are all pretty dang similar. And the benefit of the doubt here is going to Wisconsin based on the fact that they have, routinely been able to find ways to win 9, 10 games and win divisions, 9, 10, 11 games even, win divisions in the Big Ten West without having superior talent to anybody else. And they're getting the benefit of the doubt here. They're getting the benefit of the doubt in a lot of polls as well. Nebraska's included in this conversation because their schedule lines up for them. And they have the talent, they have the requisite talent to compete in this world. But make no mistake about it. It's a big jumble in there. It's a big jumble. Whoever comes out with the worst record out of those 5 teams against the other 4, that's the team that's going to be 5th. Because here's a game. Does Northwestern or Illinois beat any of the other 5 teams in the division this year? Which one of those 5 teams will lose to Northwestern or Illinois? There you will find your 5th place Big Ten team, Big Ten West teams.
Yeah. I mean, logic would say, well,
Nebraska is the most likely to, I think.
Somebody will pop off one victory.
Maybe. Illinois, by the way, let's do a little. Illinois ranks 79th. Northwestern, I believe even lower, 89th. Will Illinois or Northwestern beat any of the other Big Ten West teams this year?
I'm in for
besides themselves.
Illinois popping one.
You think Illinois is going to pop one? Josh says Illinois is going to pop one.
Who, when, where? I don't know.
He doesn't know.
It's football.
Come on, you got to be more specific. It can't just be they're going to beat Wyoming. That doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count.
Here's Illinois' schedule.
Yeah. I don't have that memorized, believe it or not.
They get Wisconsin on the road. That feels like a no.
Yeah. No,
they get Iowa at home right after that.
Hail to the orange out that day.
They get Minnesota at home right after that.
Homecoming.
They go to Nebraska right after that.
Nope.
And then, actually, there's a bye week before they play Nebraska. And then Michigan State and then Purdue at home. So they have they have 3 out of those 5 at home.
I don't love my options here. I will go Minnesota.
Minnesota. Because you're just too chicken to pick Nebraska? You're afraid what's going to happen to you?
You don't just go into Champaign on homecoming and pick up a victory, okay?
Hey, look, Wisconsin lost to Illinois a couple years ago. That was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
It's pretty surprising. But there's part of your formula right there.
Butthead's dad's going to coach him up.
If Illinois or Northwestern find the way to beat any of the other top 5 teams in the Big Ten, that would include Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Purdue. If any of the other 2, the bottom 2 in Illinois, Northwestern, beat any of the top 5, the team that they beat, that's your 5th place team. Don't lose to them. Right?
Right.
That should be a pretty good start. Anyway. All right, coming back, we'll have the poll questions. Tell you what to watch tonight, next on 1620 The Zone. But guess what? FanDuel's back, and they want you to be ready for game day when college football kicks off this week. That's right. I don't know if you've heard the news. College football kicks off this week. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week 1. Just place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets, win or lose. You can bet college football any way you'd like. I know we've been talking about Nebraska and Northwestern for a long time. Nebraska 12.5-point favorite, minus 530 on the money line. The over's 50.5. You could do it any of those ways. You could bet any of the other college football games that happen in week 1 as well. You can do a same game parlay. You can parlay some games together. There's a billion different ways. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. The app, of course, as always, easy to use. Looking at the website right now. They're always hooking you up with great odds. When you win, you get paid fast. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today and get signed up with promo code Happer and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season with promo code Happer, Happer. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued with now drawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close for major renovations on Sunday, September 18th. The original simulcast facility will be changed forever, so don't miss this final opportunity to watch and wager on over 700 TVs with weekly food and drink specials, door prizes, and so much more. Time is running out to be a part of Nebraska's horse racing history. Now through September 18th, open 7 days a week. Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a drama coach to be an IT guy.
Yeah, I'm having trouble logging in.
I'm not buying it. Say it again, this time with feeling.
I can't log in?
Come on, man. I want to feel your struggle.
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Now, like your life depends on it.
I can't log in.
Yes, we'll make an actor out of you yet.
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
At Easycater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Everyone, meet our newest employee, Susan. She has an idea that is going to revolutionize our food ordering.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, she just gave her notice, and today is her last day.
I'm going to miss her. Why don't all companies order through Easycater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on easycater.com. Easycater, food for work. It's our thing.
And now coming in at number one. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken's $5 mac and cheese bowl.
Mac and cheese, chicken and cheese. Mac and cheese, chicken and cheese. KFC. Mac and cheese, chicken and cheese. Mac and cheese, chicken and cheese. For $5.
Oh, yeah, baby. Order KFC's $5 mac and cheese bowls on the app. Back for a limited time in original or spicy. That's figure looking good. Price participation may vary for a limited time only.
It's 42 Degrees annual summer sale, and it is hot. Premium Kratom up to 30% off. CBD up to 50% off. And candles from $9.99. Looking for a new pipe? We have the largest selection of glass, silicone, wood, and metal as low as $7.99. Interested in the latest vaporizer from Dr. Dabber? We have them starting at $24.99 with the most knowledgeable and friendly staff. And hot summer sale pricing. Why shop anywhere else? 42 Degrees is the source, your source, by your mom's house.
Nebraska football has felt cursed these last couple decades.
Just a huge upset. 62 points for Colorado.
Nebraska will have to look elsewhere for the man to replace Frank Solich.
But you can help to break the curse. August 25th at Haymarket Park with KLIN and 1620 The Zone. All ages are invited to this free event that will feature food, drinks, music from the Killigans, and of course, curse breaking. Join us Thursday as we break the curse.
Couple quick things before we get out of here quickly. Trev Alberts has just announced on Twitter that each of the first 3 games at Memorial Stadium this year have sold out. So that would be North Dakota, Georgia Southern, and Oklahoma.
Those would be the ones you'd worry about. Yep, whether or not they sell out.
Especially if they were to lose this
Yes.
Saturday. So it's good to know the sellout streak will continue for at least 3 more games. And then we'll see what happens after September 17th. My guess would be the conference games would continue to sell out as well. All right, I've been dying to talk about this. Just one quick second here. Yadier Molina went on the restricted list this weekend. You don't get paid on the restricted list, but he left the team in a game that the manager admitted on Sunday that he would have started if he was there. He left the team, and fans have figured out that he went to go visit his basketball team in the Puerto Rican league that he owns to go celebrate them winning a championship. He went to go drink champagne with his basketball team that he owns.
What a great sacrifice from an owner.
Fair or foul?
Cardinals are in a race right now.
They're super in a race. Yeah. And they've created a little bit of separation for themselves with their recent play.
Remind me who'd they play this weekend?
Who did they play this weekend? They played no, they didn't play the Cubs.
No, that's today.
Man, it's gonna give me a second. I don't know. Doesn't matter?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's it.
They played at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a bottom feeder, for lack of a better word. Not a good team.
And they won all the games anyway.
They did win all the games anyway.
Fair or foul, Yachty?
Barely fair. Because it worked out.
Because they won?
Yeah.
Okay, if they go and get swept, it's still not a great teamate move. I would say.
I mean,
he's Yachty or Molina.
He's checked out.
He's earned it. He's earned it.
Yachty.
Everything Yachty's ever done is
Know
great.
your Molina.
He's Yachty. He could do whatever he wants, right? No.
A tattooed angel.
Poll questions. Is one of the staples of your freshman year of college learning how to do laundry? Yes.
100% yes.
53%.
Oh, come. A lot of mama's boys listen to this station.
Interesting. Do the homeless bathe in there? I'm not sure what the reference is to.
The UNO parking garages.
Oh, yeah. No. I've never seen that before.
But that was the point of the tweet, is someone scrolls upon it and goes, what?
62% say yes. Yeah! Is nailing a parallel park one of the better feelings you can have?
Definitely.
Hard believer in that. 86% say yes.
Good job, audience.
Would it be possible to meet all of the Irish people? I don't think so. 5 million Irish people?
No.
So you got to get them all together. 74% agree. They say no. Do you know what a pizza spear is? I did not prior to learning today. 90% also don't. Are the New York Jets America's team?
Sautter tried to convince us. He pled his case.
No, they are not. 93% say they are not. Do you trust Jesse? I sure as hell do.
With my life.
84% say no. Is Dublin the Omaha of Europe? Yes, sure. Let's do it. 58% say no. And finally, will Nebraska beat both Northwestern and Illinois this year? Early returns, 72% say yes. I voted yes as well.
Okay.
What are we watching tonight?
Tonight we got a trio of MLB games on. You got the Subway Series, 7 o'clock MLB Network, Mets and Yankees. First time in the regular season where both of these teams are meeting 25 games above 500 or more.
I think my button doesn't work anymore.
Oh, yeah? Did you kill your button?
That's not good.
Okay. Well, I'm here for you. ESPN Plus 840 tonight. Marlins A's. Let's go. Great selection there by them. And then Brewers Dodgers, 9 o'clock on MLB Network. You have a battle of unbeatens on Monday Night Football tonight. The 1-0 Falcons meet the 1-0 Jets. They're America's team. 7 o'clock on ESPN. You got to love football to watch that one. Little League World Series. I don't know what time these games are. It's been raining all day in Williamsport. But
nobody ever knows.
If they get them in, it's Canada-Mexico on ESPN. The main attraction, 6 o'clock scheduled time. Probably not going to get that on ESPN2 tonight. Hawaii versus Texas. And I will leave you with this, Connor. 7 o'clock tonight on Big Fox. TMZ investigates what really happened to Richard Simmons. The tabloid reports on the mysterious public disappearance of the fitness icon.
Is it that mysterious?
I remember it was a summer story 2 or 3 years ago, but apparently now they have new information.
Do we miss him?
America has a fondness for sweating to the oldies.
Cool. All right. Well, I won't watch that.
I will not be either.
Okay. That is what to watch tonight. Thank you, Josh. We don't have a Better Call Saul to talk about tomorrow. So, wow.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Maybe that preseason football game. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close.